Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Laureli Shimayo. This is the MeWe Metaphysics and Wellness Awakening panel for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest. We're getting ready to start our online fairs again in September, and we have lots of events online. We started our online events 2.5 years ago. Fortunately, we had a year to get practice having all this work before we were doing lots of events online, and we've had so many online over the last 1.5 years, and we will continue to have online events. So this is our awakening panel. We have 7 or 8 of us that are on the panel tonight, many that have a specialty of sound healing. It's our theme tonight. And it's free to be here to listen and learn. We'll all be sharing a bit about who we are and about the theme of sound healing. So practitioners will probably share about ourselves generally first, and then we'll come back and do a round on sound healing. Since so many of you do so many things, want to give sound healing a particular emphasis when we get there. And then let's see. So yeah, they'll share about themselves, share about the theme, and then we're available to answer questions. It's free to listen tonight, and it's a small price to ask a question of the panel. It's 16 to 24 sliding scale, $10 for BIPOC, and you can pay on PayPal or Venmo, or if you need to, I can run something on Square. I'm not aware of anyone in line with a question yet. I'll go check and see if anyone's already paid. And then we put people in line based on when you pay. Let us know. So if you do want to ask a question, please do pay ahead and then let me know in chat that you want to get in line, and we'll get you in line to answer questions. All right, maybe I'm going to go ahead and I'll spotlight the practitioners. And then we'll get started with introductions in just a moment. I feel like there's more that I usually share that I am just not thinking of it at the moment. I was mentioning earlier that it's been like a 1.5 weeks since I've run a panel, and like I'm already forgetting what is it that I do. So yeah, it's great to be here with all of you. It's a great big panel in the middle of the summer. It's really exciting. Okay, great. Let's see. So let's go ahead in the same order maybe that we did before. So I think that was maybe it was Susan and then Marcia and then Sandra and then Henry and Michelle and Daniel. So go ahead and take a couple minutes and share about who you are and all that you do.
I'm Susan Watkins. I'm the owner and founder of Inspired Life Essential Wellness, and I offer Reiki services as well as sound healing services. I'm a Reiki master, and I help people to get unstuck, to find the things, the blocks, whether they're conscious, subconscious, through also guided meditation, some gentle movement and yoga. So just really finding that what it is you're wanting to do, what's keeping you from taking those action steps, and then getting out of your own way so you can, release whatever has been holding you back and live that beautiful life that you're meant to do and be and have. So I look forward to being a part of this panel and to talking with everyone tonight. Thank you for being here and sharing this evening with us.
Thanks, Susan. All right, Marcia.
Hi, I'm Marcia Culver-Reichert, and I am marciaculver.com is my website. I am a Celtic shaman, and that means basically that I sing usually Celtic music while I work. I've helped people step into their magic. So helping them get rid of blocks in their lives, helping them to transform into everything that they were meant to be. So part of that is that I use hypnosis, and I'm a Reiki master, all kinds of body work, including massage. Let's see, there's probably more, but I'm also a writer, and you can find my book on my website too. That's about ancestral healing. So that's been fun to be a part of, and I'll be a part of another book as well for ancestral healing. But I'm looking forward to tonight and hopefully singing a bit. And thank you all for being here.
Thanks so much, Marcia. Go ahead, Sandra.
Hi, I'm Sandra Jeffs, and my website is sandrajeffs.com. And I've done multiple modalities over the years. And so a couple of years ago, I realized that I wanted to move more into a holistic place with my healing. I'm an energy healer, an empath. I got my certification in the early 80s in NLP. I'm Reiki, Theta healer, a host of other things, breath work. And so I created a system that's very holistic called Soul Essence Awakening, to use the whole self to move into your soul's path and to grow there. And music is a huge part of that. So I'm excited to talk to you all and learn about you. And thank you very much. See you soon.
Thanks so much, Sandra. I think Henry, and then someone just bounced around. Okay, Henry, Daniel, or Henry, Michelle, and Daniel. All right, go ahead.
Oh, hello. I'm Henry India Holden, and my website is henryindiaholden.com. You know, I'm like everyone here. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a certified peer counselor. I'm a tarot reader. I love that. It's a great way to connect with the divine. And I'm a certified life coach with 240 hours of in-person training, 9 months training. And what I concentrate on is helping you clarify your purpose. Like most of us feel we have a purpose, or if we don't know what it is, we would like to know what it is. So I help you clarify that. I help you identify what the steps are to manifest that outwardly in the world. And why I feel really qualified for that is because I knew I had a purpose, and that's why I have all these trainings. But ultimately, I realized that what allowed me to have my purpose is by really connecting very powerfully with the divine, and that all these other modalities help me help you do that. So ultimately, I'm a spiritual director. I help you build out your relationship with your higher power, or your higher self, or the divine, or God, however, whatever you call that. I've taken that journey, and that's my purpose. So I've discovered what my purpose is, and I feel that out of that, I can help you discover what your purpose is, just us being true to ourselves. Thank you so much. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Henry. Go ahead, Michelle.
Namaste. I'm Michelle Skoleski-Boyd, and tonight's sound healing. And I know depending on where you are in the world will depend on whether or not it's still 7/7, but it's still 7/7 here in the United States. And that's the end of this beautiful, serious, galactic energy that opened up this gateway on July 3rd. And there's been lots of solar flares and lots of really powerful things that have happened. You can learn more about some of that stuff by going to my website at soulfelt.com. But for now, the fairies want to come through and they just want us all to laugh. So if it's okay with you, Laureli, I just like people to, if they feel compelled, just to kind of like unmute their line and just start laughing, because like we need to like move right now with sound. I don't know why, but they want it. So let's just go for it if everybody feels good about that. So let's just start laughing. Let's just bring in joy, because that's what tonight is. So everybody just go ahead. Just laugh. Just giggle and laugh and just enjoy the sound of your own laugh. Right? Hear that. Right, thank you.
All right, great. And Daniel.
Yeah, if the fairies want me to laugh, who might argue, right? My name's Daniel Steinmetz. I'm a consciousness-oriented licensed body worker and a personal wellness consultant. And my business is Moving Deeper Wellness. And I am committed these days to working with the whole person, with our multiple layers and dimensions, which are inescapably woven together. Cannot separate them out. So you've got to be holistic in your approach to life, is kind of how I support people's journey. If I were to pick a descriptor, I would say life path fulfillment is the bottom line of what I'm not here to teach people. I'm here to help people discover and align with and merge with their inner guidance, which is really the only source there is that's worthy of marrying, if I can put it that way. So I bring 25 years of licensure in 3 states, in fact, as well as 4 decades of spiritual seeking on a personal level that integrates in. And I think I'll leave it at that. And Laureli, we're going to speak more directly. We're going to have another chance to come around. Okay, great.
We are, yeah, yeah. And if anyone, if you're thinking of anything else about yourself that you want to share, just as you hear others, feel free to jump in. We hopefully also have Galactic Ashley joining us. She does galactic energy activations, star family readings, and light language. I've been reaching out to her by text and phone. Hopefully she will be here shortly. And then I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. I'm a matchmaker. Oh, Galactic Ashley is right here. Let me pause. Let's have her introduce herself. This is great. I'm glad she made it. All right. I'll share more about me in just a moment. Let's get Galactic Ashley up here first. Galactic Ashley, you made it. We just need your video and then we'll get you up front. All right. Hoorah. Oh, and I got to get Marcia back up here. All right, Galactic Ashley, we just got to your introduction. We're share a couple of minutes about you. We'll talk about sound healing afterwards, but feel free to mention it, but we'll talk about it in more detail in a moment.
Okay, perfect. I apologize. I've been having technical issues, which made a session go a lot longer than it was supposed to, but divine timing, divine order. So I am Galactic Ashley, and I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. And that's why I'm here on the sound panel, is because of light language, which is one of our most powerful healing gifts that is innate to all of us. And I am really grateful to be here. I have a galactic guided intensive called Meet the Galactics that is coming up starting July 21st. And then for those that are interested, if you go to my YouTube channel, I am doing a 30-day free meditation that's going to start in the next couple of days, but there's some information about it, where basically we're going to be connecting with the sound template vibration of words, and so you get to explore what different words mean to you, because words often hold resonances and belief systems that sometimes we are unaware of. So I love working with sound and how sound shows up in our life, and I'm really glad to be here. So thank you.
Great, so glad you made it. Yeah, perfect timing. So as I was starting to say, I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach. So I read eyes, as in eyes are a window to the soul. I'm reading your soul in your eyes. So I'm reading the light, right, that shines through your eyes, really the resonance of the energy that shines through your eyes. And part of it I feel in my body, and right, I sense and I feel, and I also see it and read it in your eyes. And it's an energy that I pick up on when I read you. I'm not doing iridology where I'm looking at the details of your iris. I'm really feeling your energy. So I like to see both eyes. I prefer to see your face, and I even pick up things from your body. And through your eyes, I use a set of archetypes to describe what I see. I'm able to read your soul, your purpose, various ways that you more easily communicate, are motivated by different things, how you protect yourself, so all kinds of things like that. And I answer questions on your purpose and apply it to any area of life you're interested in, like career path or relationships, people that you're in. You can show me photos of, and I can talk about you and them and what's easy and challenging and solutions for that. And if you're looking to connect with someone for business or for romance, I can make recommendations about who to connect with. Yeah, so that's, and I guess it's embedded in all of in these archetypes. There's also a set of growth lessons, so I can help you see where you're more stuck and where are the best places to put your loving attention to help you grow through things and to grow to deepen the best of who you, and deepen and share the best of who you are. Well, that's about me and what I share, and I might share a bunch on this sound healing panel, and I might mostly be in the background and helping run everything tonight, depending on what the questions are that are coming in. And someone asked a question about getting the recording for tonight. So we do post the recordings of our events, and I have finally started to catch up after being very far behind. And we have a YouTube channel, and I'm putting that in the chat right now. Okay, great. So let's go through, and now let's talk about sound healing. So we can start in the same order and go through the same order, but if you don't want to share just then, you want to wait, feel free. It's whatever order is great. So I guess we'll start with Susan and Marcia, and then Sandra. No, go ahead, Susan.
Gosh, there is so much to say about sound healing. Just as I forget which panelist it was that said it was about the words. And, yeah, even words, it's about vibration. And I have this great book. It's called Vibrational Sound Healing. And it talks about, just not, when we think of sound healing like, the singing bowls and tuning forks and drums, and that is certainly all part of it. And I love, like, too many instruments, so many instruments, so little time and money, right? But really there's power just within our own voice, within our own words, the words we say to ourselves, the words we say to others. All of that has vibration and power and impact. And so really, being mindful of how you're speaking to yourself, how you're speaking to others. And the bowls, the chimes, all those things, they're wonderful and they're beautiful, but really they're tools. They're just, you have within you to heal yourself. And really, we just facilitate and hold the space and bring in these other tools. But really just within the vibration of your voice, like Laureli had mentioned, humming, can really, bring about that, bringing you, back into your center, and allow that opportunity to reconnect, just to your own laughter, to your own humming. And you think of like songs, a song can take you back to your first breakup. It can take you back to your, the laughing as a kid, and it really, music is just, it's such a beautiful thing, and such a healing thing. So I really look forward to speaking more. I don't, gosh, where do I start? Where do I stop? So personally myself, I use crystal singing bowls. I use Tibetan singing bowls. I use chimes. I don't have it here tonight, but I also have a therapy harp that I use, even simple things like the rain stick. I would love to have a gong, but I don't have one yet I say. As well as an ocean drum. I love the sounds of the ocean drums and how you can, take an instrument and kind of replicate, the sounds of nature, and just being in nature and listening to the sound, the vibration of nature too. So I don't know. I'll leave it at that, because I know we've got plenty of other people to speak on sound and sound healing.
All right, go ahead, Marcia.
Hello. So yes, everything Susan said. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I thought that we all use sound healing every single day of our lives. We the inflections in our voice might be something that we're using with purpose to convey a certain feeling to another person. It might be that somebody feels bad, and that we want to convey the love that we have for them. So we actually all use it every day in our lives. But some of us use it for a purpose for other people. And I love doing that. I love moving through other people's body with the sounds that I make. So, and there's other sounds happening in the background here. I think it's wonderful to use every instrument that we have. I had the opportunity to hear some amazing Irish music last night that really lifted my spirit, and I know it lifted the spirits of the musicians that were able to play it as well. So I highly encourage you to go listen to whatever you can, any live music you can, especially after last year and how depressing that was. So as far as my work goes, I do move through the body like a shaman would when I use my music. I do use other things, other tools, but mostly I use my voice. And I find it very effective. I find that it helps people move emotions out and move into a space where they can appreciate why trauma happened to them and not be stuck in just repeating that pattern of trauma. So I think that's about it for now, but I'm looking forward to answering questions.
Great, thanks. Go ahead, Sandra, and then
Yeah.
continue.
I actually started my journey with sound, I think in 1980. And I attended a workshop to find your personal song. And I'm tone deaf. So I was resisting going to this workshop, but a friend talked me into it. And I realized that it was more about toning and inflection. And it was about the silence. Everything is vibration. We're energy beings. And so as energy beings, we have our own vibration, and we're so busy with all the noise outside of us that we often neglect that stillness where we can connect with our own vibration and what will heal us, what will empower us. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a personal song workshop, not for people to be singing, but to find your own vibration and what sounds, tones will assist you. I got certified as laughter yoga. Thank you, Michelle. And in my own journey to heal from severe abuse in my life, I came up with a program of getting up every morning and for a minute to 5 minutes laughing, just full out laughing at nothing. And then while I'm getting dressed, listening to music that has positive lyrics. And I have a free handout on my website. I spent hours, there are over 350 songs, really vetting them to make sure that they're positive. So you're empowering yourself with whatever message you want. As we've heard, words have power, they have meaning. And so the inflection that you use, the tone that you use when you're speaking to yourself, to others, is really important to become aware of. And again, it sounds counterintuitive, but you need the silence to be able to understand and to be able to hear what you're saying, how you're saying it, and how you're impacting other people. And so I work a lot with toning. I work, usually when I'm working with clients, I use toning. I work with the bowls, the Tibetan singing bowls, and with bells, and particular in my Feng Shui. So it's an integral part of what I do as a wholeness to assist people. So thank you for listening.
Thanks, Sandra. All right, Henry, Michelle, and Daniel, and Galactic Ashley.
All right, so sound. First of all, I use sound as the beginning of every day when I do my altar work. I use the singing bowl and I started, and I won't play it because like the camera microphone can't handle that. It'll just be really broken up. So neural networks are built through repetition. So just when I hear this sound, I'm already calm. Just that's all it takes. Just I don't even have to play it. Just hear it this one time. So that's how you can use sound as a tool. Like I was saying earlier, I help people with their purpose, and how you find that is really by listening within. But the issue is that when you listen within, there's scary stuff comes up, like our self-recommendations or our fears, like stuff that we're avoiding, that comes up into our faces when we listen within. And so by starting with sound, you directly, like somebody said wonderfully, that we're all energy, we're all vibrating, like the whole universe is energy and it's vibrating. So the sound affects our vibration, it affects the nervous system. So when you listen to the sound, it raises the parasympathetic tone, which calms you down and calms you enough to where you can move through listening to everything that comes up that's disquieting or uncomfortable, until like little by little you can get to a place where you can hear your divinity, you hear that divine self that is already in its purpose. So I use sound very specifically, not just for healing, but also for being able to listen and for being able to be present. That's it.
Great, Henry, thank you. All right, Michelle.
So for me, sound, my primary sound is words. My business is Soul Felt Words, and it's Soul Felt Journeys. And so I do a lot of storytelling. And as a hypnotherapist, I'm a 3 times best-selling author. And the reason that I became a 3 times best-selling author is because my books are full of different words that really are powerful. So sound is extremely powerful. Words are extremely powerful. People have said it already. Self-talk is extremely powerful. And so kind of instead of going through music therapy and what it is to me, I want to talk specifically to those of you who can feel the energy of the last few days with the portal that's opened with Sirius. Just kind of share a little bit for those of you who are new to this or don't quite understand it. Sirius is a fixed star. And right now, the gateway is still open to this Sirian portal. And it is aligning with the sun, and it's opened this beautiful gateway of high frequency energy. And for the last few days, myself personally, I felt really emotional. Anything that even remotely resembled suffering, I started crying. And ironically, in astrology today, the focal point is on Chiron. Now, Chiron, we know planetarily, is the wounded healer. And what I'll say about that is that it is bringing up some childhood wounds and also some wounds of ancestral and past lives. And it is about self-healing and mastery with this 7/7 gateway. So Chiron in the world of Greek mythology was the wisest of the centaurs, and his foster father, Apollo, taught him music, among many other things. But music was used to heal the inner child. And for those of you who feel called to come forth, I have no doubt that you're going to be stepping into a lot of different sound vibrations and healings this evening, where everyone is going to feel called to assist you. And I love that the planets are aligned for you to assist with these new activations.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, Daniel, and then Galactic Ashley.
Man, my heart is so happy being here with what I'm hearing so far. I'm going to start a timer so I can get a sense of timing, because I can get lost. I don't even know what I'm about to say. So let's see what is important to say. Let's see. It's hard for me to focus on sound healing because it feels like a subset of the larger picture, which is a multi-vibrational universe. And universe sounds like it's out there, but actually we are an ongoing orchestra, polyphonic. We cannot not be vibratory in frequency. So and we can develop the sensitivity to actually directly perceive that. I think if we're in our dense mode of human consciousness, we think we're things and we act like we're things, but actually we're not. We're vibratory patterns, we're frequencies, and some of those are audible as sound, but we're ongoing vibratorily and multifaceted. There's multiple dimensions to each of us, only some of which are here as part of what we think of as human. Our other parts are, fit in the category of higher self and, angelic outlook. And there's a lot of terminology, but to me, I like to try and boil things down to the simple and then get complex from the simple. And to me, one of the simples is the point of vibrational therapy is to align our here selves, our human dimensions with the other parts of us that are transhuman. And aligning in a vibratory sense is being a harmonious chord. So our transpersonal dimensions of us are holding the music that is our raises feelings. That is our, you might say, our optimal living in each moment. And our human experimental self, which is busy making mistakes and stumbling through life and trying to learn, can get static, get sort of out of pitch, out of key. So fundamentally, I think of any form of therapy, whether it's consciously understood as that or not, is about reharmonizing with our other parts of us that are not, that can see the big picture and understand the plan that we are born to fulfill. And then there becomes the tools. I love tuning forks. I work with tuning forks. In fact, that's the first vibratory tool. Let's see, 3 minutes. I'll wrap it up. The first vibratory tool that I really have picked up and run with. And I was astonished because it was the first modality that I'd come across that encompassed everything about that I had ever learned in body work, in mind-body explorations and all that. It's truly comprehensive. And to me, any sound tool is like that. And as I've been working to adapt tuning fork work to over the distances, which is an interesting challenge, my guidance keeps correcting me. It says, don't get wrapped up in the tool. The bottom line is being vibratory in resonance with the other person, and everything proceeds from there. Whatever tuning forks you choose or don't choose, your awareness is about harmonizing your vibratory realities to develop rapport together. And that's the basis of working at a distance. It collapses distance. You know, the whole planet becomes available to us. Anyway, let me stop there.
And Galactic, Ashley.
Okay, so awesome. So as all of you know, by all of these beautiful things that everyone just shared, we're constantly interacting with sound that is both heard and unheard. And so I find that one of the more beneficial energies to pay attention to is to the messages that are conveyed behind the actual words that are used, which is essentially sound. So this is one of the reasons why I've been guided to do this sort of 30-day journey about looking at these words and the way that they're used, is because we often give our power over to words. So if you have issues with your parents or with your mother or with the masculine or the feminine, so I'm not talking like trigger words, I'm talking about regular language that we use, we become triggered by them. So the beings talk about this as every word is like a cup and it's empty. And what we do is every experience that we have had, we create attachments to this word. But what happens is now that word has a meaning that's not really its original intention or the definition of it, and then we lose the ability to hear each other. So if we can't listen, it makes it very difficult to speak, and then we can't be in these sort of like deeper conversations. So every letter comes together and it has its own frequency, and then you put it together in a series, and then you have sentences and this sort of structure. But then when we think about our own language, there's something called linguistic determinism. Like we have a language that is very much structured on linearity, which doesn't really leave a lot of room for the feminine, right? So when we talk about emotion, it's because there's something called sentics, which is like pressure waves. So when we say a word, you can tell a lot, and Laureli probably knows about this, and because of when we're embodying things, right? The way that we say things, we might shift the way that we talk about something, and the pressure waves are different. It's how you know that a baby is crying and is upset, is because the waves that are pressurized in the air are essentially reaching you, and then you know you're picking up on the emotion behind that. So when we start paying attention to these things, we can actually read behind the messages that are coming to us. So there's sentics in, you can have pressure waves in the ears, you can have pressure waves in the optics. So this goes off of what Daniel was saying, like everything is vibration, right? So we're getting pressure waves towards our bodies through all of the ways that we're able to sense. And so in essence, these are all sounds, right? And sound is really sacred geometry that's like stopped down so that we can hear it, because the music of the spheres is sound. It's like the sound of creation, and creation and invitation are very similar. So we are both the creators and the created ones, and sound, which is really breath, right, is what creates everything. So every time that we're breathing, we're interacting with sound. And based on, like Susan said, when we're speaking, it's our voice. So our brains are automatically entrained to our voice. And so our sound that comes from our voice is the most powerful sound that there is for us. And it is also the most like powerful way that we can heal ourselves. And this purpose of this sort of 30-day exploration of these words is not so much to avoid words, but it's to look at these words and be like, wow, I have all of this subconscious meanings and experiences attached to this word. Let's heal that so that we can bring things into divine neutrality, right? Which is really bringing ourselves into divine neutrality so that we can hold heart coherency in this moment and be able to witness other people that are carrying discordant energies and still be present and not affected, but still be able to sense who and what they are, to hold a perspective and to hold energy. So sound is everywhere, and it's so fascinating how everybody works with it. And oh, the other thing that I wanted to say is there is a study that talks about how within the Broca area of the brain, when we think words or when we're reading out loud, it overlaps with the words that we say. So this is important because it's literally almost the same thing. One is electrical, and so there's two different waves that are happening, and so that is what is fascinating, right? Because when we are projecting thoughts, it is basically the same as when we are saying it, and these are completely affecting the way that our DNA is getting structured and restructured, and sound travels faster through water than it does the air, and we are water bodies. So our body is picking up things and it is moving through us, and crystals is what our body is made of, and we are constantly, consistently transmitting and receiving information through sound, heard and unheard, all of the time. So I'm really grateful to be on this panel, and I will be quiet now.
Well, that's great. That's great. I know people are so like they're how to say, feel so much energy about wanting to get to the sound healing that'll come, and we're going to do an opening, and then also in the way that we answer questions, we'll have samples of sound healing tonight. I'm not going to share about sound healing for me. It's not particularly what I do, but listening to all of you, knowing that so much is sound, I'm thinking about feeling into how I can, like how all the archetypes that I read in people, I can express as sound waves or different kinds of waves. So yeah, it's fun thinking about this, playing with this. All right, well, so one of the practitioners had a suggestion about doing an opening before the questions with some sound, samples of sound healing, and I think that's a great idea. So let's see. So practitioners, I don't know how you want to, how you suggest we coordinate this. If we do things in series, like each of you share something, or if you want to, or like what else you would suggest. I'm open to hear what you recommendations for what we might do.
I think that might be the only way it works, because it it will stop the rest of us who try to do anything together. So
Yep. Right. So we can just go in a series of whoever wants to share, and then we'll be taking questions from the audience. And we've got 2 questions in line from Craig and Cynthia. And I'll put the information in the chat again for anyone else that wants to ask a question. It's a sliding scale fee to ask a question of the panel. And it can, so when you ask a question, and I'll say a few things before we go into the questions, but when you ask, it can be about anything. It can be something that sound healing would be useful for you. You can ask a question about anything, and we will, most of the practitioners on the panel will answer your question. And we'll just bring a range of perspectives and readings and healings to whatever it is you want support in. All right. Well, so yeah, who wants to, and feel free if one of you wants to say something about how we're opening. Go ahead.
I'd like to start. I start every day, every morning with my meditation, doing Om, chanting Om in a very specific way with 3 syllables. I'm a Tibetan Buddhist, so most of what I do is aligned with that. But when you say the first part of Om, it's ah, and you're actually taking a deep breath in and filling, and then as you breathe out, you're toning ah and feeling the vibration in your belly and down into your pelvis so that you're opening up those chakras. And then take a deep breath in and you're vibrating at O, and you're feeling it in your throat and your chest, your heart chakra, and feeling that expansion with the vibration. And then the final one is and this one is critical. I often encourage people to just do the humming which is with the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth and your mouth closed. What that does is vibrate to your pineal gland, and your pineal gland is your major gland that helps you to stay healthy and strong and with your hormones and all of that balance. So even just walking around when you don't feel like people are going to judge you for it, or you're alone, and just going that humming really allows your body to say, oh yeah, let's get in alignment. So did you want to do it, or is that what?
Yeah. Let's open it with sound. So let's do it. So you do a demonstration of it, and we can all do it with
Okay. Let me see.
We'll
Make sure
do it
you're
with
sitting up
microphones
straight.
off. Yeah, you'll be the only one that has your microphone on, so we can hear you clearly. But yeah, we'll do it. Microphones
Yeah,
off.
you want to be straight, and not tense, but not like you want to be relaxed but straight, so that your chakras are open and your spine is open as you do it. So you just take in a deep breath. I do it a lot so I can go for a long time, but you want to hold that exhale of a breath is really important for health. It allows your body to be in this a parasympathetic mode, but it also allows your body to learn to train to use oxygen better. So you want to breathe in for maybe fully from your diaphragm, count of 4, and then exhale as long as you can. So the O, and you're looking to feel that O sound in your chest and your throat. So O. And then the And as you're learning, you separate first, but then you get to the point where you breathe in for 4 counts fully, and you do ah, oh, at the same time, and then the next breath in. So would everybody like to turn their microphones on and do it together? It's a really powerful thing to be in a group and have everybody oming together, chanting that. So if you feel comfortable, let's do it. Okay, get ready. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. deep breath in. So if you do, you know, 4, 5, 6, 12 ohms before you do your meditation or before you're doing any kind of spiritual thing or just before you go out into the world and life, it can really ground you and align you so that you're more present with who you are in your body. And it's really good for health and well-being.
Great, thanks, Sandra. All right, who else wants to share something with us? Practitioners, go ahead. Who wants to jump in?
I will. So I'm just going to sing for you. So relax as much as you can and let the music take you wherever you go. And Ashley, I'm not doing channeling tonight. Once upon a day, I was sighing for you, tasting only sweet, drinking memories of you. Your hand touches my cheek as you whisper softly, don't forget to breathe. Our love will be redeemed. And when you take my hand, you'll know exactly where I am. A toast to starry night, seeking comfort divine, celebrating I swim in circles in light. And I look to the sea and hear you calling softly, don't forget to breathe. Our love will be redeemed. And when you take my hand, you'll know exactly where I am. I hear you calling to me, see you, but you can't see me. We never said our goodbyes, so dark and lonely your eyes. You'll always be in my heart. There is no death do us part. And don't forget to breathe. Our love will be redeemed. And when you take my hand, you'll know exactly where I am. You'll know exactly where I am. You'll know exactly where I am. So I know some of you that hit in different ways. Some of you might have been taken to a past life. In fact, a couple of you were. And some some got chills, which is normal, and others, it really evoked a lot of emotion. So I am here for you if you have a question after that. Thank you.
Thanks, Marcia. And I know someone asked what the name of that song is. So if you could put that in chat, that would be great. Or if you want to say it just now in the video too. Guess.
It's called Don't Forget to Breathe. And I think it's called that. It's either that or Breathe, but I can't remember the name of the artist, but I will find it. So
it's great. Yeah, someone mentioned they felt like they were flying. Great. All right. Who else wants to share something?
I will go. I was just going to tag team off like we did last time without saying anything in between, but that's okay. We can talk too. Nashu yala taumbahan yala nashum alanya shuman yala hataya humba shun yala taya bopanya shan yala naya hungashan ya na unda in yala taya hungashan ya banda ushan yala taya Unkan Yashindia. In Yalataya Bahunga Shubayan the Ishan Yalataya Huhan Yashum Bahan Yalataya Handaya Unda. In Yalataya Humbahan Yashumbahiata Ambahaita Shumbaya da Ochanda. Yahata Shumbahan Yalataya Shumbayin Yatashum Yahandaya Boahanda. Alawina Shintiala Humbach. Alahumba Ishinyala Yasin Yahunkata Betaita in the Atahunda Ishniata Adawahanga Gala in the Tashunganda in the Ishniaba in the Itashumba in the Atayahunga in the Hanyalatoba in the Shunda Ita Ikanda Itashnida and the Batation in the Agashumba in Yerashinyada Yimba and the Shuach in the Shinyarayando and Gandashum Banyala Diashum Banyala Tayashumba in the Ita Ista Iahata Huasha in the Hamba Shumbanyala Taya Hala Shumbanyala Hinda Hamba Shanyalata Hambanyala Taya Humba Hanyalataya humba shanyaya shumbaya hundohi Haya hundohi ahunda shumbanyayando Hanyalataya humba shanyaya la Himbanyalataya hungashin yai. Humbanyaya hundaya hum. Hundaya laya humbai hi hundai hi. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words of my actions in some way lead to the happiness and freedom of all. Peace, peace, peace.
Guten Abend, good night, mit Rosen bedacht, mit Näglein besteckt, flog unter die Deck. Morgen früh, wenn Gott will, wirst du wieder geweckt. Morgen früh, wenn Gott will, wirst du wieder geweckt.
Everyone who's present and listening, if you could please just take a nice full breath and really focus on your breath. It is such a gift to be able to hear the breath and the pause between the inhale and the exhale. For it is in this pause, in this place of equanimity, that we come to know thyself, that we connect with who we are, that we return home. Deeper and deeper. allowing this beautiful portal, this beautiful gateway of energy to surge through you, calling in your spiritual team, asking for assistance, and allowing this beautiful Syrian gateway energy to move through you from the top of your head down through your feet, using your breath to guide you. Hoya, 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 moya. Hoya, 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 mo. Hoya, hoya, no, ya, ho. Ya, mon, ya. In and out with the breath. Deeper and deeper. The Syrians have a beautiful connection with the dolphins and with the whales. Calling them in now, allowing their beautiful vibrations and their healing energies to soar through you. Their beautiful healing frequencies moving through every fiber of your being. Good. Just take a moment and open your eyes and just notice the difference in your energies.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And we're opening the circle tonight for questions. Now we have 2 in line right now. When you ask, keep in mind that this is being recorded and it will be online. So if we go deeper in our answer or we start talking about related for us topics that you don't want us sharing about here, please let us know quickly in whatever way works for you. We're here to honor you and our answers. We believe that everyone is intuitive. If something comes through for you, it's a great opportunity to be practicing expanding your intuition and checking to see if what comes through you is something else that we share. You may have things come through you that are valid that we happen to not share. It's a great opportunity to get confirmation. We request that you allow the attention to stay on the panel tonight. So if something does come through you, you might want to take some notes, write it down. The awareness often doesn't stay for very long. And then if you want, when we're done answering someone's question, you can write them in chat and see if they would like to hear what came through for you. Please honor whatever they share. They may be full after we answer. And trust that the answer came through you for some reason. All right, we have Craig and Cynthia in line so far. I'll put the info in the chat again if anyone else would like to ask a question. There's a small fee and you can pay by PayPal or Venmo. After you pay, please write in chat and let us know that you've paid so we can get you in line. All right, Craig, are you ready? See where you are. If you turn your video on, I'll be able to spotlight you so you ask your question. I think I saw you earlier.
While you're doing that, I want to observe that after that exploration, Laureli, your tone of voice is so changed. It really, it's clear how potent that was for you, it seems to me.
Yeah, definitely a sensitivity to the energy and yeah, impacted by all of this. I don't see Craig at the moment, so we can leap on to Cynthia, unless Craig just appears at the moment. Cynthia, oh, Craig's coming back right now. Okay, just a moment and we'll get to Craig. Hey, Craig, we're ready to have you come to the front and ask your question. Are you ready? I know you just got back in.
I didn't have a question for tonight. That was animal communication.
Oh, okay, that's for tomorrow. Okay, thank you. All right, great. We have one question in line. It is Cynthia. Cynthia, are you ready?
Oh wow, lots of pressure.
Okay, no pressure at all. It's great fun to be the first one. We're so eager to jump in.
Yeah, I usually just listen, and yeah, it was like a really amazing experience, all the sound healing. Um, I think my question is just about uh life purpose and what I'm supposed to be doing.
What are you supposed to be doing as in purpose?
And how I'm supposed to be doing it. I don't know if that's too much.
Right, practitioners, raise your hand in Zoom and let me know when you feel ready to answer. Clearly, you can bring any of your modalities in and yeah, see what shows up. Now, some practitioners may be drawing cards and all kinds of things may be happening. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'll start.
Okay, let's see. Oh,
Everybody raising their hand, so I'll start.
Marcia and then Michelle. Go ahead, Marcia.
So, may I sing for you?
Yes, please. I love it.
Que no mai por wasur Yamaru Yimur Agimo. Okay, so you make people happy, and you have lots of little beings around you that I would call fairies that make people happy too. So you should share what you know about them. Does this resonate with you?
Yes.
Before I keep going.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so you should share what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, actually, I should say, because I have a knowing, and that has been one of the hardest things to verify. So, I mean, I know how things work in the fairy world, so that's my experience anyway. It's not necessarily a thing, so I want to correct myself on that. Whatever you experience, you should be telling people about. So when you walk by somebody and they're looking a little sad, and you see something on their shoulder that's trying to cheer them up, it might be that you feel comfortable saying something to them, and it might be that you cheer on the little thing that's trying to cheer them up, right? So, but helping people move into their happy space is what I'm seeing that you're called to do. So don't be afraid to talk to people about the things that are around them that you're experiencing. And especially, I mean, some of us are built to do that with without asking special permission, or without people actually asking us. Some of us are meant to wait for the invitation for that. But if you actually had a business doing this, or you put it out there that, hey, I just do this thing, then anybody that comes to you is actually asking permission. So let's see, so more about how that looks for you. You communicate with water creatures very well. Do you know this? Okay.
I love water.
That's awesome. So when you can actually help people raise their vibration by connecting with the water creatures that are connected with them. So you can, if you have a friend that's feeling down, you can talk to their water creatures, and it's especially water creatures for you. You can talk to them and help them understand what's going on so that they can help her raise their vibration. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, that's about all I got for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcia.
Thank you, Marcia. All right, we've got Michelle, then Henry, then Sandra.
Hi, Cynthia. How are you?
Good. Thank
Good.
you.
I remember you. So very much like Marcia, the very first thing that came through, and I had shared in the very beginning that the fairies wanted to come through. So I did grab my fairy deck tonight, and the fairies came through with a card that really popped out and said, pay attention. And it's all about celebration. So we talked about self-talk in terms of kind of what it is that you're telling yourself. And with sound healing, with breath, with presence, with how we show up, with even the frequency of our feelings, that's all sound. It's all vibration. And what the fairies want you to know is that you already know deep down what it is that you desire. And it's really important for the law of attraction to kick in, for you to start to act as if. So specifically, this card is saying, get ready to let your hair down and celebrate. It's time to go out to dance and play. An invitation is on the way. So the fairies are saying, begin to act as though you're being invited to the most grand celebration that exists. And they want you to pick out something to wear. How would I show up? How would I be? And start acting as if you're already there. So just a little side note, just so you kind of understand, before I was a member of the National Speakers Association, I was invited as a guest speaker, and I acted as if by dressing the part, and I couldn't afford a cocktail at the time because I didn't have a lot of money. So I ordered myself an orange juice, but I acted as if, it was a cocktail, and I stood there and I conversed with everybody, and I showed up, and I really played the part of being at this cocktail as though I was one of the keynote speakers, one of the guests. And sure enough, it wasn't long after that, and I did become a member of the National Speakers Association. So there's something about your vibration right now that they're encouraging you to show up. It feels like it's relationship related and career related all at the same time, whatever that means to you. And so just really take their advice, and it's like you're going to be invited to this party. And so start thinking about, what am I going to wear? How would I show up? How would I behave? And start acting the part. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Michelle, Henry, and then Sandra.
So Cynthia, I pulled the Explorer. So this is the Knight of Wands in a regular deck. Here it's the Explorer Fire. Here, maybe, can you see this quite well now?
Yes.
So I see that being you. So with this deck, I go more by the images than I go by what a tarot card is supposed to mean. So I don't care about this words as much. So that stands a little bit in contrast to the first hit I got. And sometimes that happens for me, where what a person is about, in this case you, Cynthia, is bigger than the tarot system will answer to. So I think what that means is the following. There was a time in my life in 1999 to 2000, where I didn't ask what my purpose was, because I was in a state of grace. And I think this is what you're ready for. I was in a state of grace that was so meta that purpose is smaller than that. The purpose was be. being, you just being, you just breathing, you just smiling, you just crying, you just laughing, you just shouting, whatever it is you're doing. That's the divine expressing itself as Cynthia this time around. And that is its own raison d'etre, its own reason for being. That's the ultimate purpose. And I feel like I get goosebumps because that's the hit I got immediately. That like, this is about, finishing what you started, success is around the corner, be disciplined, complete, especially in business, all of that. And I think that you can do that if you want to. Absolutely. Why the heck not? And this is a bigger calling. Do you see it? Can you feel it? Like
Yes.
it's more shamanic, it's more meta, it's more like being the vessel rather than the actor who asks, what are my steps? Where's my path? You're the vessel for the path. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
So that's what I see for you. Perhaps fearlessness and bravery could be like chants, like something like that. The song I sang earlier was a lullaby that my mom sang me to sleep. She was an opera singer, and she sang sotto voce very quietly. My grandmother was Italian, so sotto voce, very quietly, with so much love in her voice. It was a sweet talking, and that is what you can do to put yourself in that place of being the vessel, to sweet talk yourself. It's like not just like, oh, I'm awesome, but like, sweetheart, I love you. You're so good. You're so beautiful. Like sort of it's on the edge of your vocal cords. It's very sort of watch. It's very sweet. And I feel that you're so, like I'm looking down because you're down here. Your face is, your square is down here. You're there. You're there. You're there. Can you see it? Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you so much.
It's just setting aside the, am I worthy? Am I enough? Do I really know what there's to do? Like, just be even beyond bold.
Thank you, Henry. All right, Sandra and then Galactic Ashley.
Yeah, I want to echo what all three ladies have said. What first came forward for me was just your heart. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt immense compassion and empathy for others, and ability to put yourself in their shoes. Is this true?
Yes.
And I also felt that you've had trauma around that it's scary for you to put yourself out that way. I don't know if you've had abuse or trauma or whatever, but I felt that there was trauma and that kind of held you back. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm hearing is that it's about healing that so you can step into that and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's exactly what Henry was saying, is that you have a really big destiny to be in service to others because of your empathic abilities, your compassionate abilities, and just coming from the heart. And that it doesn't have to be programmed. It doesn't have to be, oh, I'm a counselor or I'm this. As you step more into that, it will just unfold. So I want to share something with you about healing, because earlier somebody said that when we become quiet and still and we're listening, it's scary because all the pain that we have not healed from comes up. So here's the quote. When you heal trauma, you heal your nervous system. When you heal the nervous system, you heal the emotional body. And this is critical for you so that you can be safe in expressing the compassion and the emotions. When you heal the emotional body, you heal the psychic and empathic body. And I really feel you're an empath. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm hearing.
It is.
When you heal your psychic body, you heal your vibration. And once the vibration is healed, realities change. So I just want to encourage you to have the courage to do that. When you have the courage and the strength to look at those things and allow them to heal, they heal really quite quickly. So that's what I heard.
Thank you so much, Sandra.
Thanks so much. All right, great. Galactic Ashley.
Sure. So a couple of things. The first thing that came through is that you have an opportunity during this time. What is coming up is the divine feminine. So I'm feeling a lot of the feline beings, those energies. So you can think of them as the divine feminine as expressed through the Sirius star system, right? So just think divine feminine beings, and they are very much associated with the magenta ray. So I love that you are wearing magenta today. So it is both of the heart, but also connection to sort of the higher soul star levels, because I already feel, and I think this is what the fairy stuff, it's not froofy, it's very important. But the fairies are telling you, and this is what Marcia was picking up on, is that you're already grounded, and you're already very present here within Earth and Gaia. So don't be afraid to reach out into these things that you are passionate about. And so one of the things that came up is, of course I can't find it, and that's fine, is to remember that invitation and creation are basically one and the same. So to go off of what Henry was saying is your ability to be, when you are being, then all of your doing is purposing, right? So then you are fulfilling your purpose when you are in a state of authentic being. But what I'm getting, and what the feline beings and this Assyrian gate energy is helping you with, is for you to grow courage and expand love. And they are very courageous of the heart. And this is the time for the feminine wound to be healed. And all of us have masculine and feminine energies. And what helps me is anytime I ever feel lack of unworthiness or not enough, I recognize that as the feminine wound that is coming up to be healed, which is not existing in the present moment. It is existing in a parallel future past lifetime, as well as the past or traumatic history in this lifetime. So that is not occurring in the moment. That is a program that is coming through the feminine principle that is being asked to be healed. And so if you want to do more work around that, I did a 3-part series over the solstice. It is free on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. It goes into probably more than you ever wanted to know about the feminine principle. But essentially what's happening is feminine first, right? Feminine first happened in creation of the universe. Feminine first, we are all female until we become male, if that is the choice when we're in utero. So feminine always leads first. This is why everything is so backwards right now. And so what happens is, and this is very true for me, is that we tend to take the feminine principle, go out into the world masquerading our feminine principle as masculine. And so you're being asked to come back into what the feminine is, and to remember that Sophia, or the divine feminine, is not a personification of a woman or female beauty or anything that we think it is. We're being asked to invite this energy in, because truly this wisdom, it's a fractal and it's a sacred geometric vibration. And then we get to become that. And then when you become that and you invite that in, then your beingness becomes your divine purpose. And what's happening is, and I always break it down to this: life is us remembering what we already know in spirit, period. So that's all that we're doing. And it's a big thing, right? But you already know what your passion is. But again, the divine feminine, which we don't really even know what that is, but this feminine principle within us, if you let her come up, you invite her in, she is the one that sends out the desire. And then with that desire, you invite in the energies that co-create through you. And so those are the frequencies that we're sending out. So I believe that you are on path already and that everything is right there. And I agree with everything that Henry said.
Thank you, Galactic Ashley.
Great. And Susan's got something also. Go ahead, Susan.
Yeah, I pulled several cards, and well, I meant to just pull one, but more kept coming. So but a theme. I'll read them all to you because they're kind of, one of them's called the Manifest Miracles mantra cards. So you can actually use them as, words are power. You can actually use them as mantras. But a theme that really kind of came through is trust. And just as Michelle and Sandra said, the first hit that I got when you asked your question was, you already know. You do know what your purpose and your path is, but you need to trust that knowing. And sometimes we kind of get in our own way and question it, and is that really, what will other people think, and am I really picking up on it right, and really just to trust that you do know, and that, as Galactic Ashley said, you are on the right path. But I'll go ahead and read these. So the first one that came through is, I refuse to overthink it. So, again, that overthinking of like, is that really what I'm supposed to be doing? I don't know. And then part of that is, I refuse to overthink it. Silence is golden. Silence is golden. The sound of silence. So just allowing that quiet, that silence to go within, to maybe just put your hand on your heart and connect to your breath, connect to your heart, and ask your higher self, what do I need to know? What would help me? How can I be of service to myself, to others? What do I need to remember? And just, listen, allow the silence to listen. And then the other card is, I do what makes my soul happy. Everything else falls into place. So as I think it was Henry was saying, or maybe it was Sandra, I don't know, wonderful things are said by people. I tried to pay attention. When you're doing your purpose, it falls into place. What makes your soul happy? And you kind of, it's not work. It's effort, but it's not necessarily work when it's in alignment with what what your purpose and your path is. So kind of, when you start kind of getting tripped up, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Again, connect to your soul. What makes your soul happy? What lights, what's that thing that you can do for hours and hours and it seems like you've only done it for 10 minutes? So there's that one. And then the way I speak to myself about myself and my future matters. I speak truth, hope, and kindness. So as you move along your path and those doubts come in, as they will, we all have them, just the way that you handle that, I speak truth. I've got this. I know I can do this. I'm listening. I'm following my heart. I'm trusting my guides. I'm trusting my inner wisdom. What do I need to know? I speak truth, hope. I know I can get there. I don't know what the next step is, which falls into the next card. I let go of the need to know how it will all work out. I just know it will. Trust. You don't always have to know the next step. In fact, if someone told me, I had I like to call it my former life because I can't even imagine that life now, but I was in corporate management for 20 years. If somebody told me that I'd be spending a Wednesday night playing bowls and pulling cards, I'd be like, you are crazy. You are hooked on crazy, but here I am. And I could do this for hours. It's one of those things. It's like, have I been talking for 3 minutes or 30? I don't even know, right? Like Daniel, I need to set a clock because it just, It just is, right? And so you don't necessarily have to know how it's all going to work out. Trust that your guides have got your back. Follow your heart. Take that time to go within, to listen. To listen, to connect to your higher self. And then the last two, because I know others have things to say too. Vitality. Protect your energy as an empath. Empath to empath, girl. Protect your energy. Surround yourself in that bubble. It's so easy. And you don't even realize sometimes, it's like, gosh, is this my energy or somebody else's? So protect your energy. Invite life, affirming relationship, release energy vampires. And sometimes those energy vampires can be our family members, like I come from engineers and school teachers. It's like, you're going to do what? You're going to teach yoga? That's a side hustle. People don't do that for a living, So sometimes it's, are you sure you want to do that? You tried to start your own business before. How did that work out for you? They don't necessarily mean to be that way, but it's their care and concern, that sometimes can drain you of trusting, your path. And they don't have to understand. You just have to know that, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I trust it'll all work out. So, and then honor your body's requests. So as an empath, as somebody that's of service to others, and that, those energy leaks comes in, even with all the protection bubbles and all the things, energy leaks can come in, and we are sensitive to what's going on, like Michelle mentioned, with the portals and the eclipses and the moons and all the things, right? And so be sensitive to your body's request. Dare to rest is what I like to say, whether that's guided yoga nidra meditation, whether that's a cup of tea and just staring out the window, taking a walk, going on a hike, spending time walking barefoot in the grass in your yard. Just honor whatever your body needs. And when you start to feel that, just ask, what do I need? What do I need right now? What would help me? There again, what do I need to remember? And kind of think about speaking to yourself like you would a friend. If a friend felt that way, would you tell her to suck it up and go do more work? No, you'd tell her to take some time for her. So be your own friend. And then the last one, and this is seriously the last card I pulled again, was trust. Ask your guides, act faithfully on their messages. Call forth the best in others through your attitude, energy, and expectations. Know that you are supported. The universe has got your back. You got this. Go shine, girl.
Thank you, Susan.
And Daniel's got something to share too. And just before Daniel goes, I want to share, I know I've seen your eyes a little bit before, and from what I'm picking up now, and what I'm remembering, I think you have Scholar, which is about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. And then it's not as apparent in the moment, but I think that you have Sage. It's about community, communication, playfulness, and fun. I know I'm trying to decide if that's really you. And that you might have Artisan. Artisan's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. You might have Masking for Priest, Priestess, and Server, but I think you probably have Scholar, Sage, and Artisan. And just some of the, I just taking in bits of sprinklings of people's answers. But so Scholar's about learning, right? So learning and translating and sharing the knowledge that you have, but particularly Sage is about community of voices or beings, right? Or fairy beings, and Artisan is sensitive to energy. So I imagine this like dancing cacophony of beings that you have messages, that you get messages from, but that you play with, and that the other people that you work with, that it's playing with them, and that's where the knowing comes from. Always grow to be spontaneous, intuitive knowers. So knowing that appears that you don't fully know where it's from.
Yes.
But it's a dancing and playful, pleasurable experience with others as the knowledge comes through. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Daniel.
Oh, hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
Hey. So I was prepared to not have anything to contribute because mostly I'm designed to be having guidance come in the unfolding of an hour and a half or so. So this format doesn't play to my strengths, but I followed my sense and I drew some cards, which I normally don't do, but my guidance said, give it a shot. And I will see how well I can communicate because it raises feelings for me. It's meaningful to me. I hope it's meaningful to you. So I'm using the Galactic Heritage deck, which it's a framework of different off-planet species and humanity. So it's a really broad frame, but one doesn't need to latch on to the different, Syrians, Arcturians, all of that. One can just go with the archetypal character energy that's a human relatable quality. So I've been told just to read what's in the book and to do minimal amount of translating it for you, that I would, for the most part, interfere with your translation. So I drew two cards. One was present moment. In other words, your question and how it's with you now. And then the next draw was what it's moving to, the direction it's moving to. And again, I'd like you to listen to your responses to this and your flashes of insight. Don't put the book as an authority. Your authority is within you. I don't know if you can see this. The first one is, I've got to be able to communicate here. Way showing. So in the present tense, both of these cards are advanced evolutionary states. They're of almost in states of development for the two species, intergalactic species that are mentioned. So this is some big stuff in the moment. The first one, way showing. In the ancient past, Syrians were conflicted about being leaders or staying hidden. They saw this as an either-or situation. Now that they have evolved, they realize that being a leader is not an aggressive or controlling role. True leaders lead from the heart, without ego desire, and from a clear sense of inner direction that is aligned with the universal consciousness. In the ancient past, for you personally, you were also conflicted about this issue. But now is the time to release this karmic pattern and no longer have fear of being a leader or a way shower. You don't have to do anything to lead. Simply being is enough. So that, for some reason, feels really on target and needs to be said. The second card is of what is the present moment in your query moving towards, at least in this moment. That can change, with different moments, but the clearest direction would be melting pot. This is the advanced stage of humans, kind of future tense humans is what that's referring to. Melting pot. Unity from diversity is one of the most powerful evolutionary ideas for a species. Humanity is an amalgam of many diverse ET species and their qualities or character qualities. It is a direct reflection of the galactic community, all of us. Once humankind begins to fully embrace those who are different and sees itself as one people, it will be ready to join the galactic community. This card reminds you that beyond race, beyond gender, skin color, beliefs, etc., all beings come from the same source. Humans must transcend the fear of those who are different and extend their hearts to all beings in order for this necessary evolutionary step to be activated. And that's where things are moving towards you according to this moment, as the cards would reflect. And I probably at the start, I should have said I just had some quick senses of you of a warmth and a powerful heart presence and of a level of serenity that you're wondering, but you don't feel like you're at wit's end about it, like you're not tormented by this. It's more like an ease in the process to a degree. And so I'm kind of not worried about you. I think that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Well, Cynthia, anything that it's got lots of rich answers. Is there anything that you'd like to share just in response to the answers that you received?
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of information, and yeah, it definitely brought a lot of clarity and focus, and filled in a lot of gaps and wanderings I had, because I do feel like I am getting more clarity, but sometimes it's fuzzy. So yeah, it helped a lot. I know I'm being vague, but I appreciate everyone.
That's all right. Well, thank you so much for your question. Thank you for getting us started.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so Martha is up next. And after that, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Coulinet, maybe? Martha.
Hello.
Bring Martha up to the front. Great to have you again.
Hi, I'm here. So I just, in general, I wanted to take advantage of the portal. So whatever Spirit has for me, I just love supporting you guys every time we have an event.
Sorry, you said you wanted to take advantage of the portal, and then is it just any messages anyone has for you, or what are you? Did you give something?
No, I said I just love supporting your panels, and anytime I take, I have the opportunity, and I can ask what Spirit has for me.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, so and you're open to people sharing with you, yes?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Let's see what's here for people. We deeply appreciate your support. Your energy feels more relaxed tonight, by the way. Very interesting.
It's almost midnight here, so.
Oh, you're in the east. It's late. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I feel you go with the flow tonight. Practitioners, just let me know when someone's ready.
All those sounds and music and singing and all that. Just, put me in a nice mood.
You keep asking about your purpose, so that has me thinking about sound and your purpose. All right.
I'm going to bravely jump out, and Martha, I'm going to invite you to maybe look into your heart and see if you have a question in your heart to give me some traction point.
I'm actually really glad that you said that, Daniel, because I got the same hit and I thought it was just me because we've had a session recently and because you were in another group that I was in. So I was like, maybe I just don't have anything to say, but I kept getting use your own voice frequency and sound to ask a question. And so I know that it's not required all the time, but I just want to say this in general for other people, and this is a message that the guides have been bringing in for people, is that our consciousness asks a question, which delivers the frequency that the beings can match our consciousness with to bring in information that will sort of fill these frequencies. So it's not always required, right? You can absolutely come in and say, have this big open thing, but if you want something that's specific, it's really beneficial. It's not wrong, right? There's no right or wrong or judgment, but I'm also getting that the beings, kind of like Daniel just said, like it's gonna benefit you right now for some reason that we'll find out in a moment.
Okay.
So something
Okay.
there may be
Yeah,
some-
just like
Go ahead.
just like Laureli said, you know, everything is about, you know, honing in my purpose and my healing. That's my, you know, my goal is to be where you guys are. You know, and do what I'm supposed to be doing, and how do I go about just knowing that I'm worthy, and I mean, I'm working hard on it. So for those of you that know, I was on a crossroad of leaving my job, and now I have decided I'm not going back, because there's some things that came up, more stuff, and I'm done. So I have to make money somehow, and you know.
Did you tell them? Did you do it? Is it official?
It's not totally official, because she actually told me she was going to give me 3 more weeks to think about it. So, but in my mind and in me, I know I'm not going back, because they want me to get vaccinated, and I don't want to get vaccinated.
And I want to
So
encourage
that
you.
was the last straw.
I want to encourage you that they may give you 3 weeks. You don't have to take it. And I see that Henry's ready. And Michelle, if you want to go ahead, but Henry's ready too. So Martha, is there something else you wanted to share first? Yeah, that's great.
Oh no, I was thinking that too, but I don't have to wait the 3 weeks.
Oh, and Galactic Ashley, if you felt you were going, I don't want to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going. So Henry, you go. I just want to say that the message that is coming through about this is if you have decided and you know this is what you want, to not wait the 3 weeks, because what she just did was extend your energy out into the future, and she essentially is exerting power over you. You've already stated what you want, so request her to get the paperwork together to bring this to completion so that you don't waste 3 weeks. And we're outside of the Mercury retrograde, and we're on this really powerful corridor, the Syrian corridor, so you can just enter into that and just go with the flow of the energy so that you can work on your healing and your path. So exactly what Laureli said is like to do that.
Yeah, I feel concerned that it's dragging your energy and it's keeping you from having an opening right now. Yeah.
I just really briefly want to say that I drew a card immediately before Daniel had said anything, before Ashley said anything, and it totally ties in to what they're saying. So I'm going to read it verbatim. It says, "Have you ever been told that you're wise beyond your years? Now is the time to call upon your inner fairy wisdom to help you with this challenge." So it totally ties in. You already know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, but I feel like because you've been so used to taking orders, let's say, and so good at serving other people, which is part of taking orders, is being a servant leader, that you have not felt, there's this part of that worthiness, you've not felt empowered to step into yourself authentically, fully and completely, where you can make these decisions. And the fairies are just coming right in saying you're already completely wise to what it is that you need to do. And I completely agree with everything that's being said. Just stay on the path, stay on the course, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise.
That's great, Michelle. Thanks for putting your hand back up. All right, Henry.
Hey, Martha, how are you? I see you got
Hi.
your little snuggly bug there.
Yes.
That's great. So a couple of things that came up. So now there's a lot more than there was when I first raised my hand. With regard to the people who are giving you 3 weeks, the hit I'm getting is that they love you and they don't want to lose you. And they're hoping that somehow that will make a difference over the next 3 weeks, that somehow you'll find your way to make it work. So, and I see that how lovable you are. I mean, it jumps off the screen. So other people feel that too. The other thing that I'm getting is, you're asking did you ask, how do I know that I'm worthy? Or did you ask, how do I let myself believe that? Which one
Yes.
is it more?
How do I just own it?
Exactly. Okay, great.
In
So
a sense, I know,
yeah.
but
That's exactly what I thought you were really asking. And I have some cards too. I don't know if we're going to get to the cards because it's different things are happening at the same time as I'm listening. So, so everything that's going on, a part of like how you go through life, how you experience life, how you respond to life, it's partly written on your cells throughout your body, right? But it's also partly neural networks. It's very difficult to affect your cells very quickly, but it's very stupendously super easy to affect your neural networks, because literally they're thoughts you're having, they're feelings you're having, and the feelings are often triggered by thoughts. Now they're triggered in many ways, but thoughts also trigger feelings. Sorry, I keep looking down because I see you down there. So I'm looking at your face as I'm talking to see, what your responses are, and that helps guide me. So literally super easy how to believe that you're worthy is simply by repeating it. So find a place that you love, that you feel comfortable, that you feel safe in, that you're uninterrupted in. Spend like 5 to 10 minutes there. If you can do this daily, it happens much faster than if you only do it every once in a while. Like if you only do it every once in a great while, it can take a year or more, or 5 years or 10 years. But if you do this every day, within 28 days, you already have a little tadpole of a neural network that is there forever. It's there to stay. So what you do is you find this comfortable place and you start talking to yourself. Now, it sounds like I'm repetitive, like the sweet talking, but when you say it sweetly, the feeling that comes from the sweetness then becomes a part of that neural network, which then empowers this neural network in ways that it won't be if it's just intellectual thoughts. And you just say these things to yourself that you wish somebody said to you. Somebody, like imagine somebody who was disapproving of you in the past, and you put the words into their mouth that you wish that they had said to you, that they would say to you now. And then you say them. You be their surrogate. You literally tell yourself the things that you feel inspired by and that you feel healed by, because your subconscious mind can't quite tell that that's you speaking. It's like not sure. Sometimes like when somebody else is speaking, it totally can tell those were words by someone else. But when you're speaking, it's almost as powerful. So what happens is you go, I am like so worthy and I believe it. Then the first thing that comes up will be why you don't. As soon as you hear that, be sweet to that. Be kind, like maybe I'm so powerful and I'm so worthy. Yeah, but I made that mistake. Oh, I love you so much. You made that mistake, and that's like totally fine. I'm still so powerful. You're so powerful and worthy. Yeah, okay, maybe, but then what about the time when I wasn't powerful? Oh yeah, I really hear that. That time you felt like you're not powerful, and yet you are so. You see how as the objections come, you embrace the objections, you love the objections, don't fight them, don't argue them, embrace and love them, and soothe and pet yourself and sweet talk yourself, and then repeat it and repeat it. And if you do this for 28 days, you will not be the same person that you are now. And then every day after that, you build out this neural network. And then what happens is the next time you think, I'm not worthy, there'll be this like a pinball machine where it'll ping that neural network, and then it'll ping across to the new neural network that you are building, and it'll get to the point where that neural network becomes so entrenched and so powerful that it will be the first go-to. And somebody would have to get in your face and say something to you before the other neural network gets triggered. Do you follow all this? I'm sorry I had to talk so fast because I feel like
Yes,
I'm taking
yes. No, I'm following.
So that's the how-to, like 4 reels. The cards I got was, it's decision time. You already know it's decision time. This is you. You are powerful. You have your own music. You have overcome the obstacles. This is what the mountains are. This is mental. So it's all in your head kind of thing in terms of what you're saying to yourself. And this is the seeker. So this is like, be with beginner's mind, start at the beginning. Don't know so much as in how you can fail. Don't know how you can fail. It's better to say, I just don't know. Because we usually know just quite well how this is not going to work out. And so then just like go back to the fool, be a fool. The seeker is the fool. All right. I hope this was helpful. Did that connect? Did you connect with that?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Henry. All right, Galactic Ashley, and then Daniel.
Sorry, unmute self. So, and this will be short. It really feels like, I know I keep saying this, but one, to ask yourself, where are you denying the divine within yourself, right? So, and then to just allow yourself to explore that. The second thing is, and the energies are really supporting this, starting with way before the solstice, is to allow the feminine wound to come up because she needs to be witnessed. And then you can apply everything that Henry just said in that conversation, because she needs to be witnessed by all of us. As anytime our lack of self-worth comes up, whether we are currently embodied as a male or a female or non-binary, we still hold these energies, and what's coming up right now is timelines are intersecting, Lemurian timelines, Atlantean timelines, these other timelines that we have come back into this lifetime to heal. So we're able to release these energies in the past, like if we've ever been hunted down by witches. Essentially, this is the feminine principle or feminine aspects that have been removed from our memory and our history, and so they come up within us within all of these experiences. So the other, I'm feeling a lot of resistance that you're having to all of this, and 2 things are coming up. One is, and I don't know, I can't remember how old your children are, but I know that this is frequent. I think they're younger. So are they still in the house? Right. No,
Yes,
they're still in the
15
house,
and
right? So
17.
you still have the identity of being a mother. So frequently when kids leave the house, all of a sudden the mother's not the mother. So then it's like, who am I, right? So what's happening is who you thought you were is transitioning into who you're going to become. So the old you is disintegrating, right? Because you're no longer going to this identity, right? So the great thing about having a job sometimes, or one that's very specific, is that it tells us who we are. And you're so much more than that, but that is also you, right? So I feel like that's some of the resistance is now there's like all this space that's happening. And I always, the symbol sort of metaphor that comes up is, let's say that we're in a 10 by 10 foot room and it's pitch black in there. We know that we can walk 10 feet and touch a wall. touch a wall, we know that it's square. All of a sudden it becomes round and 20 by 20, and then there's this like moment of panic because now you have to take like 10 extra steps to reach a wall, and that's a big unknown space, but you're expanding in your energy, right? And then the other thing that came through is you get to decide about these 3 weeks, right? And it doesn't mean that, and I like what Henry said, because it's always a really good reminder, because sometimes we tend to think in like, oh, psychic vampires, right? Sometimes we can have these attachments. I had one and I'm like, what is on my wrist? And it's driving me nuts. And when I tuned in, and it was just like an attachment, like a spider web. It was like nothing, but it just felt like it was on my wrist. It was just somebody that's a friend of mine that was thinking about me, right? Like, so I just removed it and sent them love. That's all that it was. So I agree that she misses you, right? Like, who wouldn't want your energy there? That's very common. And anytime we separate from a relationship, whether it's a divorce or something, then the thoughts and the things are sort of being sent out to us. So what's happening is I feel like a part of you wants to let her have the 3 weeks, because what you really want to do is rest. And it's beneficial to rest, but what will be more empowering if you choose that you get to rest, and if you make your decision and be done, and then you and your sovereignty say, I'm taking these 3 weeks to rest and recover and rejuvenate and heal. And that becomes exponentially way more powerful than sort of letting her do that so you have an excuse to rest, because you don't need an excuse. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. When we want to prove something, it comes from a past trauma, or we need to prove that we deserve something, or we need an excuse to do something. It's us needing that. It's of the ego mind, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not the spiritual self. And so to trust yourself, right? And that's going to be really hard, because you were saying that there was like lack of faith in oneself. And again, that is just points to unworthiness, the feminine wound, to just let it come up and heal it, just like you would if your daughter or somebody came to you. And how you would treat her would be how you would treat these aspects of yourself that come in. And I'm really excited for you. But I don't know if anybody here can tell you like XYZ is going to happen at this time, because you have to invite it in and just allow it to flow and sort of bypass the mind and be this amazing life force that you are. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Galactic Ashley. We've got Daniel, Marcia, and Sandra. Go ahead. And practitioners, keep in mind, we've got potentially 2 more people in line with questions. Where's my list?
Yes.
We do. We have 2 more people in line with questions afterwards, and we have another one that was asking too. So if some of you want to stay late, we can do more. Just keep in mind, we've got more to do.
Hi, Martha. You're actually the first person that I responded to on these panels. So what I'm going to actually give sort of a broad stroke that feels like the arena of maximum exploration for you. What I get, and I hope that I don't say things that sound like less than kind, because I want to be accurate in my descriptions, because they're things that you can grow through and get on the other side of. But if we don't know where we are in the moment, it's hard to take the next step. So the broad arena, and I don't think any of this is that I might say is going to be a surprise, you know, like, oh, totally new information, where'd that come from? I kind of get a sense that this is something that you have been working on. But I'm just going to give you my kind of reading right now. My heart reading is that there's the energy to move forward strongly into your future is dampened by what I'm going to say is, I love that Henry talked about neural networks and the nervous system, because I'm getting that your nervous system is the connection between spirit and biology and human presence. And that's the addressing where learned experiences that were appropriate to the previous history that you've had are now in the way, in broad strokes. So this is, I think, I feel certain that you've given a lot to this, and I don't want to say like you need to do more because you haven't done enough. It's not that. It's like this is a maximum point of unleashing the energy that will probably maybe even surprise you, perhaps shock you that there's that much energy, because your energy largely comes from spirit and translates into our biology. Spirit is not time bound. Our biology, our human selves, have history. And the challenge of spirit is how to change the parts of us that remember in our nervous system the traumas that we've been through. And it's your spirit self knows where you can go, and it's always saying, please, let's go a little farther. But the key is knowing where the leverage points are. And I feel like there's so much unwinding of the learned history. I have 3 decades of trauma lived every day and then grown out of that. So I kind of have, I don't want to be projecting, but I feel like I have an authority in me that is really rooting you on, that there's all of this surge of energy that will power your day the more that each little neural network gets realigned. And I can't go into detailed proposals right now because that's kind of a different time frame, different length, but attending to the moments of each day with psychotherapeutic tools of self-inquiry, and then adjusting, allowing the nervous system to let go of another portion, done throughout the day, because each day is giving us moments to do that in a small scale, at a manageable scale. It doesn't have to be enormous moments. It's like little things going, oh, there's a little glitch that feels like it's from this comment I got from my father or mother at this time. And let me just breathe through that. And it's like a small micro thing, but done as a habit, there's going to be this increasing horsepower moving into your nervous system in your biology, and will show up in your daily life as who you are as a person. I hope that made some sense. I think I'll leave it there because
Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. We've got Marcia and Sandra. Go ahead, Marcia.
Hi, Martha.
Hi.
Can I just say that you're a beautiful woman? And
Thank you.
that doesn't mean anything at all as far as how to get through this, but I think you got some good answers already. I just wanted to tell you that because I think you deserve to hear
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Sending you love and power.
Thanks, Marcia. All right, Sandra, go ahead.
Hi, Martha. Nice to see you again.
Hi.
The first
Thank
thing I
you.
heard.
Sandra, we can't see you. We can't see you. Can you turn on your video?
Oh, sorry. The first thing that came to me was creativity, and I know you're an extremely creative person. So I want to give you an exercise to do, and it's just a simple breathing exercise, breathing fully in for 4 counts and fully out for 4 counts. And when you breathe in, you squeeze the pelvic muscles, the muscles that hold your urine in, and your Kegels. Because what that does is you're breathing in, you're going to squeeze that and bring that energy all the way up through that breath. So you're breathing all the way from the root, from the root of your body, and squeezing those muscles and breathing that creative energy from your root chakra, from your your sacral chakra and your solar plexus. You breathing it in, and then you're also saying in your mind, I breathe in my worth. And when you say that, I breathe in my worth, it kind of stops the contradictions of I'm worthy and then all these contradictions. It allows it just to happen, to be in the moment. Breathe that energy all the way up, squeezing those muscles as tight as you can, And when you've got to a count of 4, then let go. Release your pelvic muscles, just release, and you say in your mind, or you can say it out loud, and I send out my worth. So I breathe in my worth, I send out my worth. I breathe in my worth, I send out my worth. And what that's going to do is really activate your creativity, your ability to manifest, which comes from those lower chakras. And you're bringing that energy all the way up through your body to the crown and then breathing it out. It's like a circle. And you're breathing it in and out. And as Henry said, if you do that every day for 28 days as a rhythm, you can do it as many times as you want, but just breathing. This is a sound workshop, and our most powerful sound is our breath. Our breath vibrates. It is life force. I mean, we can live for a long time without water and food compared to breath. If you don't have breath, you die. So getting in touch with that breath and allowing that vibration, really feel that vibration to come up all the way and then down all the way. It's really powerful. So try it.
Thank you.
Good luck. Nice
I
to
will.
see you.
Same here.
Thanks, Sandra. All right, anyone
Yeah.
have anything else to share with Martha? All right. Thanks so much, Martha. That was a lovely exercise that you brought in for all of us.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Great. Thank you so much, Martha. And how great that you've made this choice. I'm so excited. All right, next we have, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Kulanit?
Kalanit.
Kulanit. All right,
Kalanit, yeah.
Kulanit.
Hi. So I'm Kalanit. It's rather serendipitous that I ended up in this meeting today. I don't know how I saw the random Facebook invite, and I'm not sure how it got to me. And then and then it got on my calendar. And then I wasn't really, I was kind of like, maybe I'll have a listen. And then I started listening, and then I felt my energy clear. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe I'll ask a question. So I started a business in 2017. And with COVID, I feel like I've lost some momentum as a lot of people, but I feel like I have a lot of opportunity, and I'm at more than one crossroads, and I'm not sure whether to continue on the original path and get more momentum, or whether to take a lot of the creative thoughts that I've been getting and maybe that's a new pathway that I should be going on. I'm having trouble manifesting quickly enough. I get a lot of ideas, but I can't do them in a day or 2 days or a week. And then I get depressed because I feel like everything is going so slowly, but the time's going so quickly. And I'm trying to get these ideas out. And then I'm just still stuck trying to just do the previous things that I need to do. And so where do I focus? And are there any messages regarding this?
Great, where to focus, and are there any messages about this? But I'm going to say a quick thing before, our hands are up. So one of your natural talents is artisan, and it is the idea generator. It's about exploring the edges of what exists and bringing in new ideas and experiences in for everyone. And part of the challenge of the artisan is that they have so many ideas. What's so important for someone with artisan is that they notice what's so pleasurable and so interesting to them. And know that the first way that you imagine what it might be doesn't mean that's the way you have to do it. Part of the process of the journey is to let it change and morph, where you're really following what's pleasurable and interesting to you. And if you do that, that's how you're able to follow through to bring it in. If it's something that's really not sticking as pleasurable and interesting to you, you might be forcing yourself to attempt to manifest it when that's really not what's wanted. And it's against the energy of your whole being. And that's why it doesn't manifest in the way you might think it would. You also, it's not good to compare yourself to other people that don't have artisan, because they may be so good at manifesting, but they don't bring in the ideas. So it's just so important to do the thing that you're so good at. And yeah, I'll just kind of leave it there. I just, yeah, let others go. Galactic Ashley's next.
Okay. Do you know if you work with a lot of dragon energy at all?
I'm a Chinese fire dragon by zodiac, so maybe it's there.
Okay, because a lot of times I definitely experience all of the time everything that you are saying, and I'm just like, I wish that I could make these creations as fast as they are coming in. So one, there has to be a level of trust in the divine timing and the divine order. Oftentimes when the dragon beings come in, for me, they come in and it feels like it needs to be done yesterday, but that is just the energy that they're bringing in. When you are in a space and getting these downloads or this information is coming in, pay attention to the ideas that have the energy behind them, that come in with the doing, because there will be a lot of ideas that come in that don't have an energy of motion with them, and just write them down and let them be there, and that's just part of the idea box, right? But there will be key ideas that come in that have the motivation and the motion and the energy to do the doing, to bring them out into the world. And I would just get comfortable with writing all of these things down. And it doesn't mean that your business has to change, because you can do multiple things as long as you can loop it back into who and what you are, so that you don't begin to, it's not thin out, but there's a better word for that, but dilute, thank you, dilute your business, because it's okay to focus on a niche that you're in, and that is sort of like the face of your business, but you can have these other aspects and these other parts of it that you're continually looping back into, because there's a connection, so they're not totally random. So allow the ideas to come in, and then trust yourself, and also know that there's still a divine timing and a divine order in it. So just because the ideas come in, it also feels like if you were to create space in your day for ideation periods or for connection or meditation, then these ideas might not come in these out of order ways, if that makes sense, right? Because if you're not creating the space to have it, then you're creating a trust within your higher self, your divine self, however it is that you align with everything, your galactics, the dragons, whoever is coming in, then they quote unquote might be sort of more orderly with you. This is very similar to the person that's like, everybody's bugging me at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. If you set the time during the day, they'll stop bugging you at night. Because it's just like opening for communication. So there's what happens is that we have these consciousness streams that are coming into us, and when we cut one of them off, knowingly or unknowingly, then we create distortions where we're not fully operating like in this whole space. In essence, we're creating corruption or fractions within ourselves. So if you create the space during your day, whether it's journaling or meditating, and it doesn't mean that your mind has to go blank, because for you, it probably won't. You'll probably sit there, create the space, and all of these thoughts will come in. Allow it and write it down. And then one of those will really come out, or that creative idea will come through multiple times, and it will be very clear that that's the one. And then not only that, is somebody will come in to help you. Right? So if it has to do with a website or a product, then all of a sudden you meet somebody that has something for you to help you to create the creation, because we don't have to create alone. Right? If that makes sense. So
that's awesome. I never thought of it that way. Thank you.
Great. All right. Practitioners, anyone else want to share? Henry wants to go ahead. Maybe.
I raised my real hand. Okay, so I started out with, I've got nothing for you. I've been talking so much already. I'm going to sit this one out. But my hands were just mixing the cards anyway. You know, it just sort of like automatically, like, I'm just sitting here doing this with the cards. So I only got 2 cards. And I think, so, okay. So I got the Hermit for you. It's a beautiful card. This is the Joanna Powell Colbert Gaian Tarot deck. Love it, love it. So I got this card first, and why I'm putting it up there is so that you can really look at it and be with it, because you know what I know, but you may not have the same access to it because you don't practice that. Just like I may know some of what you know, but not be practiced at it. And the second card I pulled is this one right here. So this is called 2 of Fire, but it also can be 2 of Wands. So this looks like it's just about love, and it can be when we do a reading, but this is about like your career, more or less. So what I'm seeing with that, and this was the first card, and this, sorry, this was the first card, and this was the second card. So this is about that you have 2 paths that you can take. Very confusing, right? But them's the breaks. So you have 2 paths. So you may want to look at what you're doing through that lens. Are there 2 paths here? Because it might be that you are viewing it through one lens only and thinking, okay, this is how this has to work. And if you think this could be one or two ways, then you may find something that you're not now seeing. It's just not showing up for you, right? And then the Hermit really speaks to that, which is oftentimes when I draw the Hermit, I say this is about being in the world but not of it. Does that make sense to you? Being in the world but not of it, what that would mean? And so, but here I have a more specific hit, which is that what your questions and sort of what you're grappling with might be coming out of that the same things that used to inspire you and put a light of fire under your butt are not doing that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So what's the answer then? Being in the world, but not of the world. Because what happens is when we don't know, we go even further out into the world. So away from our core, away from our divine self. We go even step out even further saying, tell me something, help me, tell me, what might it be? And you search and you look and you see other people's answers, or the answers that are for other people, not for you. So like becoming more still, listening within, this is where the answers are. And that's being in the world, but not of it. And so something that came up earlier was that when we listen within, oftentimes our little enemies show up, like the negative self-talk. So then what there is to do is just breathe through it. You're like, okay, there's that word, and just hug it, love that concern, love the next concern, each of them until they're all been loved. And when they've all been loved, they're ready to go to bed for the night. And that's when you can talk to your divine self.
Okay.
Right? And it will tell you what will inspire you. So this is a dual thing, right? That there are 2 paths to the same thing, or perhaps 2 paths to 2 slightly different things, or maybe very different things. And how you can determine that is by letting this card guide you.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Marcia.
Hi, Colette.
Hi.
Can I sing for you a bit if I can have a voice?
I would love that. Yes.
All right. Shul, shul, shul harun, shul gosagir, shul go kyon, Shulgo dorasagas volidion. Escuché to move on in slum. I wish I was on yonder hill. 'Tis there I'd sit and cry my fill, till every tear would turn a mill. Escuché to move on in slum. Shoo, 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 Shul sagir shul go kyun. Shul go dor sagas all avion. Escuché to move on in slun. Okay, that was just a little bit to really connect you with your dragons, because I think I absolutely believe what Ashley said is that you really need to connect with them and to channel their energy in a more efficient way. So they're really calling out to you and really want you to accept what they're trying to offer you. And at the same time, it's been difficult for you because you felt just so disconnected from everything. But take the time, reserve some time in your day to really connect with them and allow that energy to move through you. So
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much. That was just beautiful. Wow. That was lovely.
Galactic Ashley, it looks like she wants to share something else too.
Yeah, now I'm second guessing if I should share it, since when I raised my hand, my computer kicked me off. But it's just really quick. One of them, and the dragons will work with you on this, and it helps to just accept it. Especially, I don't know if you have a family or kids or whatever else might be governing your time in your life. But if you can, basically get to know your creative cycles, and it's not necessarily going to be aligning with any moon or anything, and it might be I tend to create, I'm not bipolar, but I tend to go on these, like, the word keeps being like creation crusade, right? Except I'm not killing anybody or hunting anybody down, but it's all of this creative energy comes in, and it's just like all at once, and so it's just a whole but then after that, there has to be like an ebb and a flow, right? So then it's sort of like I have to go into a rest period, which doesn't mean I'm resting for 10 months it's not like that. I don't even know if the rest to creation ratio is quite the same. But there has to be a conscious rest period, and I need to allow that. And if I'm in the rest period and I'm trying to force creation, I'm just running into a wall, and it's a completely inefficient way to function. But that the mind wants to do that, because the mind says, I have a deadline and it has to be done like this. And so I've tried that, and I did a video about this on my YouTube page. I was like trying to force a solstice meditation, and it like wasn't happening. It was ridiculous. So the other thing is, the worst thing that you can do, and I know that we all know this, but I have to constantly tell myself, is do not compare yourself to other people. I know that we do it because we kind of like, what are other people doing, kind of, so I have an idea. But if we compare ourselves to other people, what we're doing is we're breeding and inviting in competition, and competition creates corruption. Now, there's nothing wrong with competition, but you don't run for the competition. It's better to run for the passion of running, right? Not to win or not to lose. And remember that many of us are here to create something that doesn't exist. So going out and comparing yourself does you absolutely no good, because you're not here to create something that even exists. And then you have to be comfortable with that. And I'm one of those people, and a lot of people here, I'm like, if the Fringes had fringes, then I'm on those fringes, like out here, like, woo, like we're doing some weird thing over here. Anybody else resonate, right? So when you're in your authentic self, you're going to create resonance with the people that are for you. And then you just have to trust that. And then going off of what Henry said, what I loved about that, because I kept seeing like a weaving, is there's probably a third path that's going to be a combination of the two. And so it's not going to be this whole rebranding or this whole thing. It's just going to incorporate something else big that maybe you just do a rebrand, but you kind of keep everything the same. So, and then the other thing that I do when I ask the beings for this all the time is I call it purity of motivation. And so this is motivation to do from a place of being that goes off of inspirited action. And this is very different than doing something to avoid a pain or a trigger, or to do something because you have to, because if you don't, you'll get in trouble or you'll miss a deadline. So I frequently ask, especially if I know I'm in territories of something that's normally a shadowy part of me, then I'll be like, purity of motivation, so that I'm doing inspirited action. And I find that these really, really help for creativity, and just having a notebook with you all the time, including something that's one that you can talk into when you're driving. Any of these times where you enter sort of like a trance type space, which is oftentimes when we're driving and oftentimes when we're in the shower. And I specifically set time in the shower knowing that my friends call it the Galactic phone booth. Because I go in there, and, oh no, the water is cold. And it's like, I'm so glad I'm in the Northwest, not California or Pacific Northwest, because I also feel bad about the water. But the point is that we relax, and then just information flows in, and then we can allow it. We don't have to do anything with it yet until we decide.
Thank you. This has been amazing. All your words are amazing. All of Henry and Marcia and Galactic Ashley and I'm looking in my notes, and the host. I forgot your name. Yeah. Thank you.
One more practitioner has something to share. Sandra's got something.
I just wanted to give you a tool to deal with those negative feelings of overwhelm and depression, or any of those things that come up. And it's really, really simple. When you start feeling that and you recognize it, you just say, thank you. And then you say the statement, why is it so easy for me to move past these things? And then you say, it is done, it is done, it is done. That's all you do. It's called lofty questions. By saying thank you, you acknowledge that there are no accidents in the universe, and that you are surrendering to what is. And you're not looking for an answer to the question. It's just saying that the universe is going to resolve this for you really fast. Why is it so easy for me to move through these things so easily? That's all you say. And then you say, it is done, it is done, it is done. And it's amazing how quickly you'll move off of your depression. You'll move off, and you may have some ahas, write them down if you do, but it really helps to keep you balanced and on target.
Thank you. I have that written down, so I will try that. I will use that. Yeah.
Great. All right, practitioners, anyone have anything else to share with Kalanit? Great. Kalanit, thank you so much for
Thank you.
Asking a question.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
This is a real treat. Been a treat.
So happy to be able to share with you. All right, well, we are at the end of our scheduled time. So practitioners, I know it might be late for some of you. If some of you are wanting to leave, love to have you share your name, modalities, and contact info. And then if enough of us are here, we will keep going. We have Annaluna and Amber in line, if they can both stay too. All right, practitioners, anyone have to go? No one has to go. Everyone can stay a little bit longer?
Sorry, but I probably should go. I've got an hour drive home, but
well, it's go ahead and share your information. And if you want to take off, go ahead and take off. And then yeah, it's great.
So I'm Marcia Culver-Reichert. I am online at marciaculver.com. Facebook is Channeling Divine with Marcia. And I'm a shaman. Oh, I can't talk anymore. I have been working for 12 hours. So I'm a shaman and I use vocal healing or vocalizations to do my healing work. Usually traditional Irish music, but sometimes channeled music. And I'm a hypnotist and an author and several other things that I probably can't remember anymore. But I've had a lot of fun on the panel tonight. So thanks for everyone for showing up and allowing me to help you out.
It's great. You also list that you're a fairy dancer. I just want to, include all these things.
Yeah, I speak a bit with dragons too.
That's great. And what is your website? Can you let people know how to reach out to you if they want to connect with you after the video?
MarciaCulver.com.
Great. It's in the chat for everyone that's here. And then that way, everyone that's, it's MarciaColver.com. Yeah, so that people watching the video later can find you. Great. And Michelle, why don't you go ahead and share your info right now too? And that way, if we're in the middle of a question, when you have to take off, you can.
Thank you for just everybody just being here. Everybody's energy has just really been flowing, and it's just been an honor to be able to be part of the circle. Even as people were dropping off, I could feel the circle like getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and we're sort of in this sleepy mode, which is really nice. It's like this theta state of downloads. You can learn more about me at soulfelt.com, SOULFELT.com, or soulfeltbliss.com. In Culinet, I did send you a private message, and I didn't know if you saw it, but I did receive a little message for you, wanted to make sure that you got that. So I will do my best to tap into the next person and see whether or not a message comes through. And if it does, in the respective time, I might send them a private message too, depending on who's coming up. But I can stay for another 20 minutes. So.
All right, great. Thanks, Michelle. All right, and let's see. Anna, oh yeah. Henry, want to go ahead and share your contact info too? Your modalities and your contact info.
Okay, modalities are life coaching, of course. I don't know who you're waving at, but this.
Marcia was taken off. Go ahead.
Okay, life coaching, of course. This is sort of the underpinning. Spiritual guide. I use the tarot as well. It's helping people define their purpose, or just helping them on their path. It's really anything. It's just tapping into the divine, and the divine just does the guidance. You know, it's just as simple as that. I can be reached at henryindiaholden.com. And is there anything else I'm supposed to say, Laureli?
Yeah, just make sure you're maybe spell out your website. That's all.
Okay, it's like Henry, like King Henry, India, like the country India, Holden, Holden, like the car in Australia.com. And you can see everything that you need on my website. And also, like on my Facebook, every day I'm posting something. What's stopping me today from shining my light? Because I discovered if I can bring that with me, then I'm not stopped. So that's the main lesson, but it's every day, it's something else. And then we talk about that. So that's on my Facebook at, just go to henryindiaholden.com, Henry India Holden on Facebook, and you'll find me. All right, it was lovely. I cannot tell you. I mean, I was not tired, and then suddenly I got tired. So it was just so beautiful to be all with the practitioners and listen to all your wisdom, Sandra. Why is it so easy to move on from this? I love it. And guests, it was just wonderful to be with you all. Just blessings, blessings, blessings.
It's great. Thank you so much, Henry. It's lovely to have you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, Anna Luna has decided to make hers a donation to tonight. So Amber, you're next, and you're the last one in line. So let me pull you up here. And Amber, go ahead and ask your question.
Sure. Thank you for taking the time to let me ask my question. I'm not sure how to frame it, so bear with me. I've been off work for a really long time right now because I feel like the divine pulled me out of my job that I was at for 10 years. And then as soon as I quit that job, I was put into a very, very, very long dark night of the soul. And I feel like I'm just kind of coming out of that. And I'm going every single direction with learning. I'm a Scorpio, so I like to dig into everything. And I'm learning that I want to say gifted in a lot of different areas. And I'm not sure which way to go. And I'm not sure, like I have to start working, and every breadcrumb that I picked up has been a dead end. I know I'm on the right track because I don't know how you can be off the track once you awaken. But I just wanted to see if there was any messages that would come through from any of you, because I haven't been able to really tap in through meditation from outside distractions and just my mind going on so many different directions. So that's my spiel.
I'm gonna, Michelle, go ahead. Yeah, because you've only got so much time. Then I'll go.
You can go. It feels like you need to go first. Go ahead.
Okay, sure. So I say that not only that you're a Scorpio, that you like to dive in, you have the scholar talent, which is about absorbing information to build knowledge and share knowledge. So scholars are endless explorers wanting to know and understand, and they do have lots of interests. And in particular, you also have artisan. I shared a little bit about that with the previous person. Artisan's about freedom, creativity, pleasure, and energy. So scholar artisans are kind of quirky and geeky, and they are interested in tons of different things. But the artisan gets bored easily. The scholar's bored if it's not complex enough and rich enough and interesting. So yeah, an artisan, all these ideas and all these interests. And scholar can be very neutral, and it can be hard for them to tap into their feelings and to know what they really want. So your scholar's looking for something maybe that's a big message, and the messages maybe aren't as big when you're a scholar. It's not as dramatic as it is for some other talents. So similar to what's pleasurable and interesting to you in terms of your artisan, but also what really intrigues your mind, what really has your mind, and loving the rich complexity of things. And you feel like you either naturally are a caregiver, you had to be a caregiver in your family. There's something about that I can't quite sense. I wish Marcia were still here because I think there's fairy energy, but it's late, so that may be part of it, but your energy does feel tired. It just feels like from like the search, like there's something about needing to rest and physically and energetically care for yourself. Artisan it is very sensitive to energy and can get tapped out by things. But I encourage you to go a unique path. It seems like maybe that's part of it, is that you're following other people's ideas and ways and pathways. And your pathway is not necessarily one that's already here. I mean, really, in some ways, that's true for everyone, like Joseph Campbell, but of the things that you're considering, it just also feels like you grew up in a family where you had to work really hard, and your way isn't to work so hard. And it seems like you're on that treadmill of working this hard, and relaxing in a hammock is the way that the answer will come. Yeah. Okay, Michelle.
Well, I love that you mentioned the fairies, because I do have a fairy deck tonight, and what popped in before I even picked a card was, it feels like you are grieving, Amber. It feels like you're still in a grieving stage. And so I would suspect that there needs to be some closure energetically, and this is an awesome time right now. So with your permission, I'd like a little, I would like everyone to help hold the space, if you're okay with it, to help you move through this grief stage, because it does feel like you're still identifying yourself with the job and not fully have come to acceptance. It does feel like it's still very much tied in. It was a shock. There's some old residual energies that are connected to that because of it. And so with your permission, I'd like to help a little bit with that. Does this resonate at all? Have you been like really, has your self-esteem been tied into this?
Yeah, during the dark night, I kind of shaved my head and it was like down here. So there's a huge identity thing.
Yeah. So I have a lot of Native American roots, and you know, there's things that go on with the hair in general. It is so electric and magnetic. I mean, we're all electromagnetic. It is really our intuition. And a lot of times when people shave their hair, it can really affect the third eye, it can affect the crown, it can affect how we connect with ourselves. And it all ties in. And I love that you shared that. It all ties in with this card that I picked, Shine from Within. Okay, so I'm going to read the card to you. It says, looks are only skin deep. And you must have at a level known that, which is why you shaved your hair. True beauty shines from within. It's time for you to fully shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. So what I want to say about that is, with the grieving process and with you really feeling like you were stepping out of the old identity to the point where you shaved your hair and really had to look at yourself and fall in love with who you are despite outside. What I will say to that is, I went through a period for almost a year and a half where I didn't put any makeup on, didn't do my hair, totally like wore clothes that didn't draw any attention to myself. And I did this, I'd go out on videos and I would teach, and I did this intentionally and deliberately to remove the old identity or the ego identity. And it can be a beautiful, beautiful thing. What I'm feeling very strongly and what the fairies are saying is that the grieving stage, because you have still connected your identity with the last job and with the path that you were on in terms of your career, because you haven't yet recognized that that pupa stage isn't so much about reflection on the past as it is about going into neutrality and surrender and giving yourself permission to be rebirthed. Just me saying that, I can feel your energy shifting. So this is why I'm talking to you the way that I am, and you can feel my energy shifting a little bit, because I want you to really feel the difference between, I'm going to shave my hair and I'm going to fall into this stage because I'm letting go of the old, and at the same time as I'm letting go, I'm still going to grieve because there's a little bit of blame of myself and there's a shock factor involved. All that energy, it's really important that you just call in your spiritual team and just ask the winds of change, ask the Sirius portal that's open, just to help clear that. Good. I can feel that you're setting that intention. And as you do that, I'd like for you just to recognize that everything that you've been through, I know you said it feels like no matter what I'm touching or what I'm attempting to do, it's not sticking. And the reason why is because of that old pathway, that old connection. Now that you've totally given yourself permission to clear that and to surrender and to step into your true beauty by recognizing your light from within, I really want to encourage you, and this goes along with what Laureli was saying, is rather than look at your past or your history for moving forward, go into yourself and notice what's lighting me up. what is it about my past positions that I really enjoyed? What allowed me to do my job with grace and with ease? What emotions brought forth that inner beauty within me? And as you're feeling that, and as you're lighting up from inside, I'd like for you just to ask for more of that. So it's less about getting it precise and exact and getting the resume, with every I dotted and T crossed. It's less about that. And it's more about allowing your inner beauty to shine and allowing that inner light and that inner passion to lead the way. And that's going to release the grief and allow you to propel forward in terms of a career. It does feel like this gateway, and you being on this call is going to be very helpful.
Thank you.
All right, Daniel's ready. Go ahead, Daniel.
Oh my, I'm hesitant to say anything because that was a tremendous download that Michelle just gave. So I kind of don't want to distract from what I feel is the centrality of what she just delivered. In fact, I'm wondering, Laureli, if you could reassert where we can find the recordings of these, because that was such a rich sharing. I would like Amber to be able to go back and squeeze it for more.
Yeah, I'm putting the link in the chat so
great
people can go back.
And so if you promise not to elevate what I'm going to say beyond its value, that you can stay with what Michelle had to offer. This is a sidecar to do, and if you have some focus, is that there's, I was struck by your diving deep into different awakenings for yourself as part of a rebirthing process, is what it seems to me, and that you're following breadcrumbs that don't seem to go anywhere. And there's something in me that steps forward and said, but they're still valuable. You're still learning as you're following that breadcrumb and learning, experiencing your evaluation powers. And there's a lot of value in that. So I would kind of recommend that as you're working on this part of, got to find a job sort of thing, that there can be a tendency, if we've spent 10 years in a solid train of employment, job description, identity, whatever we want to call it, we're looking for something of that magnitude and wholeness to land into. And there can be periods of sort of like nibbling at things while life is preparing you for something larger. But it's a chance to be free to have small bites of many different areas of life, and you compare yourself, let me check this out. Oh, I just learned myself, and this is how that doesn't work for me. Oh, this other direction, I got to go down that road enough to learn more about myself in this aspect. And so it's not like you're wasting time by following breadcrumbs, would be my suggestion. And it may be a chance to have a refreshing lack of central focus, because there's a lot of soul activity for you right now, but to me is foundationally important and is really, really valuable for you to, different era, one would say salute, that's a military term, but to recognize the tremendous value to your life purpose here of this odd, awkward, perhaps scary, like, how do I support myself now? How long is this going to last? I don't have any like simple answers, but there's a portion of don't miss what you're learning as you're following the dead ends. I hope that made some sense.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, Daniel, I hear that as focus on the journey, not the destination. Yeah. All right, Sandra.
Amber, I had a vision, and the vision was you sitting on a grassy knoll, and all these stars were coming down to you, and you would pick the star out and you'd say, oh, this is lovely, thank you, and put it aside. Oh, this is lovely, thank you, and put it aside. And to piggyback on what Michelle said, is grief is love with no place to go. And so what I want to urge you is to think about is what Daniel was saying, is these are all stars, even though they're dead ends, you know, something that you don't really want. And you're fine to put them aside. When you find a star that just makes your heart glow and makes you just sing, grab it. It's coming. Because there were stars, a lot of stars. It was a really beautiful vision of you sitting there and receiving and opening up to that. And I think Michelle also said that that's what's going to happen in your transition. As you move through this, you're going to find that path that makes your heart sing and makes you love life. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Galactic Ashley has something to share.
Yes, because I know that I need to share, but I'm also like, so I'm going to do a light language and then a short little probably channeling thing after, if that's okay. Mahana says that is okay. Okay. Hamutaishung in yatata bushan ya in da bushan ya la dunga shua la shundai ahum bahai shumban ya la daya bai ya hu ai hundai shum hi hundai shumban ya hunga shumban ya la daya hundai shumbai ya ta handai Anyalataya hunga shu ahanyalataya humba handa shu anyalataya unga shumba anyai inyalataya umba shu ayala shumba hanga shun yahataya shumba inyalataya humba handa shu achin yachanda yachanda shumban yalata yachanda chanda shu ayata shumban yalata yachanga shupa in yalata shu ala shu ala shu ala shu ala shu an yalachanta yachanga shumbahan in the shupayata yata humba shun yalata yachanga shun yata umba in the shun yala nachanda shumbahan yata shum. We feel that it's very beneficial at this time to work with the solar energies and the solar frequencies that are currently present and supporting you. Oftentimes when we go through challenging experiences, as you referred to it as the dark night of the soul, it is beneficial to give the body just a moment to integrate all that you have learned, all that you have brought in. One thing that we wish to remind you is that even though your name is Amber, to remember that everything is a message that is constantly reflecting to you that which you already are. So when you work with Amber, what this message is bringing forward to you is that within your DNA, you have had many lifetimes within this planetary structure, and that you hold ancient knowledge. And so in order to access this, you must be willing to operate on developmental progress. And this is how the universe and the quantum field will work with you. When you are not time bound, you are able to operate in developmental progress, which means the mind is not ready until certain points for it to realize. Remember that we are here to re-articulate ourselves, or to re-know ourselves. So that which we already know, we are here to remember that which we already are. So you are not ever learning new information. You are simply in a place where you are remembering that which you already know. And this is quite difficult for humans at times, because it is part of the culture and part of the way that the language is structured. So we give you this when you receive messages to let go, rather than feeling like something is being pulled from you or that you must release it. Tune into letting in, because in order to let go, we must also be willing to let in. And we would say that amber is all things. And so where your interests guide you, it is okay, because you are opening yourself up to all of the consciousness streams that are coming into you at this time. We see that your fire needs to be rekindled. And this means that the way that you were inspired or previously motivated is no longer the way that you are motivated. And so to invite the energy of motivation in the way that aligns to you, to where you are spiritually. Because so you can think of things that are of a denser vibration here, and that you yourself are here. And what you are waiting for is for the physical structure to be able to realign again. But through this realignment, the way in which you operate and function in the world will be very different. And so what happens is that you are existing in a transition phase, or a time where you are shedding in the way a snake might shed skin. So there is an identity crisis, but it does not need to be a crisis. It can be a release. It can be a relief, because you no longer have to serve that which told you what to do. You no longer have to serve the empire. You are being asked to claim your sovereignty, to be in a space where you are the divine being that you are, and nothing outside of you has permission to affect you in the way that you are functioning in this world. And so as you are comfortable with yourself, as you are emanating your heart resonance, you will find comfort even in what is perceived as discomfort. Remember that what we put into darkness will call you into the darkness. But as you have emerged from your cocoon, what is happening is that you are still expecting the caterpillar when it is the butterfly that is flying. So with that, we say thank you, thank you, thank you, and we love you, we love you, we love you.
Thank you. I've been seeing butterflies the past couple days. Cool.
And share just a little bit more. I'm not sure, but I'm wondering that your third talent might be priest or priestess. It's about inspiration, vision, passion, motivation. With priest or priestess, it means that you want to feel so aligned with whatever you're participating in. You want to see how you're making a difference. You want to be uplifting the energy around you, contributing to the energy uplifting in others. It feels like, I don't know what it is that you were doing for those 10 years, but it feels like now, the way I see your energy now, it feels like there's a way that you were giving something of you away somehow that you really didn't want to, and that you're only feeling the heaviness of it now. Like you're imagining that the heaviness comes from this last bit of time, but it seems like it was building before. And that's part of why, to me, there's something about resting and really honoring the energy of who you are. That's part of being able to move forward. It's like Susan's got something to share with you too.
Yeah, I do. I really love what everybody has said, and part of me kind of thinks, gosh, you know, like what Daniel mentioned with Michelle, so it's like there's just such a beauty to what all has been shared, and I'm glad that there's a replay, because I think it'll take some time to kind of integrate. So but once again, I went to pull one card and like more, it's like, yeah, so I'm trying to kind of combine them together. But said, I operate from a place of faith in my heart. I close my eyes and see my abundant life. Most importantly, I can feel it as real. I trust in divine timing. Everything has a season and reason. When I align to my heart, the love I want, career I want, and happy I want manifests. I quiet my mind's chatter, and in the silence, I find all I seek. Every morning, I am renewed and born again. I let go of yesterday and make room for new possibilities. So I don't know what more I can really, I think that kind of summarizes a lot of what's been said. You know, you're going through this process of renewal and being born again, and you know, just coming to that still quiet place, that trusting that there are you know, things working in the unseen, and that everything will fall into place, and that those breadcrumbs, those dead ends, you know, really were, you know, what can you learn from that? You know, there was growth, there was learning, but also pruning. You know, that's kind of like cleaning out the refrigerator. If you just keep putting in new food, you're just going to end up with a whole refrigerator full of science projects. So eventually you got to, you know, clear out the science projects so you can let that new come in. And I just, my heart, my love, my blessings to you.
Thank you.
Right. I think we all shared. Just, is there anything left for us to share with Amber? I think Galactic Ashley, you're the one that mentioned amber. It got me thinking about amber, like the stone, the crystal, and how we so often see the light coming through amber. Yeah, just seeing the light coming through you.
I'm not liked by many, so a lot of people don't see that yet. I kind of mirror things that people don't like before they even talk to me. So yeah, I have that kind of, in my job for the past 10 years, I was serving others, and I've learned that I'm an empath. So I was giving away all my energy, and then I was coming home depleted for 10 years. So that whole resting thing resonates so much. But I'm like I've always had to be that masculine energy of like going. I've been a single mom for 10 years. So that resting is really hard for me to not be that go-getter, I guess.
Yeah. Part of it is seeing how your being is the thing that's making a difference. The energy of who you are, not the things that you do. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for checking in about asking and waiting, and I'm thrilled that so many of us stayed.
Me too. I appreciate you guys.
Oh, Black Fashion's back too. Let me get her back up here.
Can I just add one little thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just noticing, you know, speaking of light and mirror, you know, behind you is a mirror and this light. You know, it's almost like it's mirroring your light. If you turn around and see it, you'll see you, and you'll see this beautiful light. That's, yeah, I just realized that.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Amber.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for staying with us to the end of our panel. We do have a ton going on. I'll mention some of our upcoming events, and then practitioners will go around and everyone will be able to share. And all the practitioners' information is in the chat. I can post it again too for those of us that are left. And more of us keep coming. Tomorrow we have a panel on animal communication and healing that starts at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. Sunday, we have a practice circle for strengthening your gifts. So if you have gifts you've been opening to that you'd like to practice with doing readings and healings on each other, that's an opportunity. And then next week, Wednesday, we have a panel on making possibilities into reality. Next week, Friday, a learning circle for opening and expanding your gifts. That's where several of us as practitioners will be sharing exercises for expanding your intuition. And then on Tuesday, July 20, we have a panel on generational toxicity and trauma. We have a lot more going on. You can, the same way you got into the event tonight, if you go to Join MeWe Online or jointhefair.com, joinmeweonline.com or jointhefair.com, and scroll down, you'll see all the different online offerings. And then we have lots of in-person events coming in the fall. Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. All right, practitioners, let's go around and share your name, your modalities, and your contact info so anyone watching the video can find us. Who wants to share first? I'm open.
I'll jump in. Well, first thing I just need to get it out of my system is how blessed and how important these events feel to me. Being in the presence of people who are growing so much and grappling with the importance of life in their own lives is inspiring to me. And I think when we're struggling through our journeys, we forget that we're inspiring other people just by showing up. So, So my name's Daniel Steinmetz. I'm a consciousness-based body worker and a personal wellness consultant. And my business is Moving Deeper Wellness. And I'm here to help people travel further down their life path and fulfill whatever that mysterious purpose is by making sure all parts of them are welcomed and recognized, all dimensions, because it's in our wholeness that we succeed in our life mission. I'm reconfiguring my practice entirely. The COVID restrictions have actually been an epiphany for me to move away from, to add to in-person work, to work online. In other words, a global clinic. So I'm not charging fees, but I'm working with some practicing different aspects of that. If somebody wants a non-fee exploration of the interdimensional nature of reality and that distance is no barrier, then my contact info is somewhere in the chat there.
And please also say it in the video so that people watching the video later know to reach out to you.
Okay, good point. I don't have a website up because of the change. Again, my name's Daniel Steinmetz. You can reach me by, well, I'll give you my phone here. I'll risk that, that's fine. I'll trust 503-709-6345, text and phone, but be judicious. And Moving Deeper Wellness at gmail.com is what I'm giving out for my business email.
That's great. Thanks so much, Daniel. Who else wants to share?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and go just in case my internet's has a mind of its own today. I'm Galactic Ashley. I channel divine guidance for star seeds, connecting them to their star families and galactic lineages. I use light language frequencies and work with your cosmic connections to facilitate high frequency healing transmissions and encoded activations. You can find me at galacticashley.com, and you can find me on Instagram at galacticashley, and I have a YouTube channel, and I have not reached enough subscribers to have it be Galactic Ashley yet, but if you just type my name in there, it will come up, and we're about to start a 30-day journey into exploring the sound template vibration of words and claiming our sovereignty. So there will be, that's free every day. Also, the bigger thing that is coming up is Meet the Galactics, and it's my 10-week Galactic Guided Intensive. And so this is for if you are interested in connecting with star nations, come find out which star nation you resonate with the most. And through channeled transmissions, sound, light language, and sacred geometries, you can open to experience wisdom from many unique star collectives and receive metaphysical tools for awakening your galactic potential, which ultimately helps us open our heart for greater heart intelligence, and then develop more self-trust, faith in oneself, and feel empowered to break through limiting thought forms and belief systems. And there is a $25 off a coupon code available. And I also have a free /donation event tomorrow called Emergence Through the Syrian Corridor in Lionsgate 2021. And I'm doing that with another practitioner named Mary Beckman. And it should be really like pow. She's a great galactic healer too. And then this weekend on Saturday, I'm doing a Solar 30 special. So it's Saturday only. I rarely ever do 30-minute sessions. And it's basically, I'll be channeling the Aeon Collective and available for 30-minute sessions. So there's a lot of energy coming in, and I'm really excited to be here with all these amazing practitioners. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Galactic Ashley. And Galactic Ashley specials are in the chat along with everyone else. All of the practitioners that were on the panel tonight are available to work privately. Who else wants to share? Sandra, Susan.
Okay, I'll go. I'm Sandra Jeffs, and you can reach me at sandrajeffs.com. I'm an empath. I'm clairsentient. I practice Theta healing, and I'm a Feng Shui master who's been practicing for 23 years. It took me 3 years to get my certification to do that. I'm certified in NLP and several other modalities, including Reiki, etc., etc. I'm a published author and a published poet, and a teacher and a speaker. And I have an event coming up on the 24th of July, which is relevant to this, which is to find your personal song. It does not require that you have a great singing voice. It requires that you are willing to go within and find what resonates for you, what your vibration is, and find those tones or melodies or whatever it is to assist you in your growth going forward. So I'm Sandra Jeffs. I do soul essence awakening healing, which is a holistic practice of all the modalities that I've used. And you can reach me at sandrajeffs.com.
Thanks, Sandra. All right, Susan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just typing a message to Galactic Ashley, so multitasking gone wrong. I'm Susan Watkins, and I'm the owner and founder of Inspired Life Essential Wellness. I'm a Reiki master and yoga meditation teacher, as well as a sound healing therapist. And I work with people to identify, where they're stuck, where they're feeling blocks, and then use those modalities to help them break through that and reconnect to themselves, to their goals, to what they were put here to be, what lights them up, what brings them joy, and so that they can move on to their path. I can be reached at inspiredlife.service@gmail.com. Like Daniel, my website is under construction, and I'm in the process of moving things around a bit from in-person only to online only to trying to combine the two. So the best way to reach me is just via that email in inspiredlife.service@gmail.com. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at inspiredlife.essentialwellness, and I have a YouTube channel too, but like Galactic Ashley, I don't have enough people to have it. It's some big long thing. So if you just type in Inspired Life Essential Wellness, it'll pop up, and there's some yoga videos on there, some guided meditations and sound healings as well. So thank you all so much for sharing this evening and this time and your energy with us. It's been a privilege to be on this panel.
You've all got me checking the YouTube channel. It seems like I can change the name, so I'll be working on that. So I'm Laureli Shimayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader and a body psychology coach, matchmaker, career guide. Yeah, do all kinds of things with my work, and I love that I have that great opportunity of presenting these events to all of you and sharing them with all of you. You can learn more about all that we're up to at mewefairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. And I personally, Laureli Shimayo, I'm at Laureli, Laureli, Shimayo, SHIMAYO.com. And my sessions are 40% off from being here at the panel. Reach out to me during the next week or so. All right, great. Thank you everyone so much for being here, everyone for holding the space and participating with questions and energy. And we had over 50 people here today, which was great during the summer. And thank you everyone so much. And if you didn't already, fill out the feedback form. I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time. You get entered into a drawing for a free 30-minute session if you give us your feedback and your email address. Well, thanks so much for the opportunity to share with you. See, I'll turn off the recording.